content to a wider audience. And the best part, it's completely free. Don't miss this opportunity to share your vision and engage with viewers. Find out how Rogers TV can transform your content journey today.
Community Center. Owen Sound North Stars against the Hamilton Bengals. I'm so used to saying J.D. MacArthur Arena like that. I'm so used to having to say two different names all at the same time. Spencer Byers alongside me. Michael Harris, the great Steve McCarthy with his MSL squad as they take on the Six Nations Chiefs down in Meaford at 7 p.m. tonight. But as you can see at 5 o'clock sharp down here in Durham, the North Stars of Owen Sound take on the eventual entering the floor Hamilton Bengals. Have not hit the floor just yet, so it does give us a chance, Michael, to talk a little bit here pre-game as you see the Western Conference standings. Owen Sound 6-9. The problem is Allura, who is 13-3 in their division. The 4-1 Northmen in their division. The fourth place Cambridge Islanders 11-4 also in their division. And the only team above, another team above them in the Guelph Eagles 7-9. Guess what? They're also in the Owen Sound division. So murderer's row for the poor North Stars has put them behind the 8 ball, and they played Cambridge close twice, losing by 2 goals total between those 2 games, losing close to Guelph most recently. Obviously having a couple losses already with Allura, including a 7-5 loss here. So they put a lot of the best teams in their division and in the conference close, but just no cigar.
No, and that's why tonight's game, Spencer, is going to be super important, because you saw when the standings were up there, these Hamilton Bengals are just 2 points up on them in the playoffs. And this is an out-of-division matchup where, you know, they've got to take advantage of that tonight, because as you said, in their division, it gets very difficult every time they step on the floor. Hamilton's not going to roll over and say, we'll take it easy on you, but this is a game they have to get tonight.
That they do, because they still have Allura on the schedule later this season. That'll be the 3rd matchup against that squad.
And folks, Hamilton, I can tell you, they are here and they're waiting at the door now. They'll have their ritual run on, but they're just taking their time getting on there for O Canada and the festivities. But they are here, so we will have a game here at the Durham Community Center.
They have not found a bus home yet. And I think I told a lie, because they played Guelph, Orangeville, then London as our last game of the Jr.B schedule, and then Cambridge.
For today's Ontario Jr.B Lacrosse game.
And you can see Owen Sound there looking ready to go. Calder Adams in the mix there, Nate Laycock, Ryan Cranny.
Please welcome 3 longtime members and supporters of Owen Sound Minor Lacrosse and the Jr.B North Stars. Fans, please welcome Lauren Ainsworth, Terry King, and John Pickett. More than a decade ago, Lauren, Terry, and John met to discuss the future of lacrosse in Owen Sound and how they, as retired lacrosse executives, could help build and sustain the game of lacrosse for years to come. They felt that money was the challenging factor teams were facing for a successful season. For most organizations, meeting financial commitments meant they spent more time fundraising than developing their teams. Terry King was a founding member of the Community Foundation of Great Bruce, and he proposed establishing an endowment fund that would support minor and Jr.B lacrosse in Owen Sound for years and decades to come. It was then and there that the Owen Sound Lacrosse Endowment Fund was established. Partnering with the Community Foundation of Great Bruce, the Owen Sound Lacrosse Endowment Fund was able to register and obtain charity status so that donations to the fund were eligible for donation receipts. The Owen Sound Lacrosse Endowment Fund raises money through an annual hockey pool, through public donations, and through bequeath. Since establishing the endowment, this fund has generated in excess of $23,000 for local lacrosse, and they anticipate an additional $4,000 this year. Congratulations to John, to Terry, and to Lauren. We thank you for your dedication and ongoing support for the game of lacrosse, Canada's national summer sport that we love to play and watch. Fans, at this time we ask that you please rise and sing along as we present our national anthem, followed by a ceremonial opening face-off. And fans, to watch our proceedings today, we would ask the captain of the Hamilton Bengals, Blake Booth, to please come to center floor. And we would also ask our Owen Sound captain, Carter Moran, to please come to center floor for a ceremonial face-off today with Ward Ainsworth, Kerry King, and John Pickett.
Well, as Carter Moran and Blake Booth do the ceremonial face-off there at the dot.
Yep. Well, Terry and Lauren, two people very important in my life. Their children, Craig and Karen Ainsworth, and Chris and Jackie King, four very good friends of mine, right my age, growing up, played lots of sports with all of them, and certainly John I don't know as well, but, you know, very influential. And Lauren Ainsworth's grandson, Karen's son, went on to be captain of Ottawa Gigi's men's lacrosse. So their love of lacrosse spreads, you know, has spread across Canada, across the province as well, Spencer.
That it has. And I will say, I wasn't sure how I was going to mention it or bring it up, Michael, but this is the first game we've done on Rogers TV since the passing of assistant coach, Mr. Eckert. So I would like to obviously send our condolences out to the family and, of course, the team. Their, sadly, second major death part of the team, as they had Tyson Downs barely a year ago. So obviously a lot of heavy hearts in the Owen Sound community, especially in the lacrosse community. I know there was a vigil, Matt down at OSDSS when he went to West Hill, formerly the named course.
Yeah, and Matt I knew really well, and his parents. His mom I worked with for 15 years. She was an ed assistant, and certainly Matt and his two sisters followed their mom Jen into education, you know, all becoming teachers. And so that's obviously my world too, Spencer, as you know, and so you said it really well there, right? Matt will remain in the hearts and the minds of all these people involved with the North Stars Lacrosse, but we know his influence spreads beyond Owen Sound Lacrosse, played for the Orangeville Northmen, and you know, I imagine there's connections even with his Hamilton team somehow when you get a sport that is as big as lacrosse, but it's a small world when you get right into it.
That too, you saw the netminders there, Mateo Bowden of the Hamilton Bengals getting the start tonight, and Miles Plater getting the start for the North Stars. And I will quickly mention, you saw Plater's record at 2-9. That is not indicative for Miles Plater's play. It has just been, the requisite of playing really good teams close. If that's Cambridge, if that's Elora, if that's even Six Nations earlier this season, if that is, you know, a plethora of other teams in this league that they've played extremely well and just have not been able to get it over the line, has caused them to be a 6-9 team, as you mentioned, on the outside looking into the playoffs. And a game like this against Hamilton, who's 8-9 themselves, is a big one if Owen Sound wants to make the postseason even as a bottom seed. That's
absolutely true. And you mentioned, you know, Miles, I'm sure he'd like to have a better record on the score sheet, but that's because he's getting those tough matchups. He's the veteran goalkeeper. Jacob Flooney certainly has a bright future. But as a first-year Jr.B player, Jacob, you know, may get different games, and Miles is going to get those key opponents, which tonight is. So probably a steady dose of Miles Plater down the stretch, I would think, too, in these must-win games.
And I think we're just waiting for officials now, because they're the only people not on the floor.
Well, there was only one official out there. I thought there can't just be one official. She was out there ready to go. But,
well, you see the leading point getters there. Brendan Campbell continues to dominate this division. Ahead of him is Evan McDougall, but you see a 5-game difference there. So if you give those 5 games to poor Brendan Campbell, you'd have to expect he'd be right up there, maybe past the century mark.
Yeah.
You see also a couple of Rochester players. You also see Levi Wilson there. As a second referee joins the floor, it looks like we're ready to go.
But look at these point totals. Anybody that hasn't, if we've got some viewers tonight that aren't, that experienced with lacrosse, these players can rack up a ton of points in 16 games, 97 points or whatever it was.
Trevor McDougall, who we saw earlier this year when Allure made their way to town, and he is one heck of a player as that faceoff is won by the Hamilton Bengals, and they will retrieve it.
Switching offense for defense here is Hamilton.
That they are. Moving into the offensive zone they go. That shot over Plater's shoulder. Ball does pop loose. Retrieved by the black shirts, but they only have 8 now to work here on the shot clock. Booth looks to fire. Booth will have to, I think. He finally does. That one also goes wayward, so a shot clock violation will go against the Bengals. Quickly caught by Ryan Cranny. Will have to think better here and get rid of that ball. As he thought he could go for a rush chance, and quickly the black shirts came out to play defense, as now Moran will settle with it.
Yeah, I saw Cranny on transition there. Didn't quite pick it up clean enough to get that big run.
Nice move in, and a good save there by Bowden. Just not able to beat the goaltender there. Was Curtis Arnold, who is in the lineup tonight, number 6.
Okay, I was going to ask you there. He's
I
not
don't
on our
have him on my
there.
sheet, but I quickly grabbed the game sheet to know who exactly that was, because Curtis Arnold, who I thought would be on this team, but hadn't played it out on our screens as of yet, now makes his debut of Rogers TV season. With only 2 games left on our schedule, we'll be back next weekend for the finale of our schedule of the Jr.B season.
Yeah, balancing the 3 lacrosse teams, the junior team and the 2 senior teams in between Meaford and Durham. So Mark Perry and you guys that are the regulars doing great work.
There's now a chance for the Bengals to settle back in here. Keogh. Played that one across the top. Bengals into the corner, only have 8 left to work here, so got to look for a shot, does Riggs. Riggs played it towards, looks to be Gills, but that never got there as the shot clock will go, and a chance here for Owen Sound to retrieve it.
Yeah, the first time that Hamilton missed the net a couple times, they didn't get the clock reset. That time they just seemed to be kind of slow getting into their formation and getting really any offensive chance.
Well, this time they play rather aggressive there in the offensive zone while playing defense. As trying to make their way around the floor do the North Stars, and around it will go for Nate Laycock. Laycock right towards the net. Laycock ends up just kind of fisting that one by Bowden, as Bowden will catch off the carom and play it up to Alex Long. Long will cruise into the offensive zone himself, look for an offensive option. Finally finds one, he'll make his way off the floor. Dawson Battersby now, who leads the team in points. Battersby finds a runner wide open. Nice move, but a better save by Plater.
Yeah.
And as Riggs went diving.
And you said it. Riggs came flying off the bench and joined the play. Dangerous play there by Hamilton, but Plater was equal to the task, shrugging those shoulders.
And up the floor now come Owen Sound. That was Jackson Ray who made his way into the fray as he gave it off. Now Sly Sundown back for Carter Moran. Ran across. Nice fake there. That shot by Morrison. Better save. Morrison again. And I believe Bowden made the save on that one. Hopefully Mark Perry can show us a replay of that one.
Yeah, very athletic.
Now still stuck.
That is not your standard lacrosse save, either of those two. Very athletic saves by Bowden and net there for Hamilton. Wow.
And they needed him. As call will go against Hamilton. Owen Sound will keep it, as you'll see here on the replay. First save is good.
Left pad save.
Second save right there. Able to look like maybe caught his side there as Morrison saw wide open cave.
And Nate Laycock.
Nate Laycock gets the first marker of the game with that one.
And that is vintage or classic Nate Laycock. He's strong, he's fast, he decided he was going to get to the front of the net. And when he decides this, watch this, as he comes into the corner, steals the ball between two Hamilton guys. He's got two guys on him. He just says, you're not going to stop me, get to the net, little spin move, and then just beats under the left hand of Beaudin. Great goal by Nate Laycock.
Laycock second on the team in points, only behind Carter Moran, the captain.
Yeah.
As that faceoff is won by Elliot Thompson. Cranny played it back for Marcus Gardner-Patak, who will hand it off now to Carter Moran himself.
And Laycock's just a second-year Junior B player, but he's very physically strong and has appreciated speed, too, so he's really fun to watch.
Pass for Everett Sloan Wickens, and a good save there by Mateo Beaudin. Quickly up the floor, though, come the Bengals. That shot deflected and I believe out of play, and it will go Owen Sound's way. So that one got pounded into the pavement by the Bengals. Is now up the floor, come back Owen Sound. Couples gets fended off. Couples will now play it back for Moran.
And Moran is the key offensive player, as you mentioned, leading scorer here for Owen Sound. Has been right from he started Junior B a few years ago.
As Cole Hutchins plays it around. That is Hutchinson.
Yep.
Laycock again, just trying to force his way through. Nice swim by Hutchinson, or by Laycock, pardon me, right off the helmet there of Beaudin.
Yeah. You saw that strength again from Laycock, just wanting to force his way to the front of the net. And that'll wear down the defenders as the game goes along, too. They don't want to get physically beat up as much as that.
That they don't. As Hamilton tries to really register their first chance, as that ball almost airmailed into the bench. It is caught. Gills will have to find a way to fire. He does. That right into the chest protector there of Miles Plater.
Good zone.
Now we'll go for a walk.
Yeah, good zone defense there by Owen Sound. Nice switches. Everybody covered when the picks were set. So and then just allowed Miles to make a good positional save.
As Elliot Thompson played it off. As Curtis Arnold now makes his play over for Sly Sundown. Sundown will fire, and Sly Sundown with another rocket makes it 2-0.
What a shot. Kind of a sidearm shot there from Sundown, and just under the stick hand of Beaudin in net for Hamilton. 2-0 Owen Sound, a good start. But I don't think the goalie maybe could see this whole shot. This will give us a decent angle. There was a lot of action. You can see three players right there, and as also number 21, Elliot Thompson, slashed across there, probably took the eyes away of Beaudin, and Sundown took advantage of that to score the second goal.
His 16th of the season, putting him now in sole possession of third place for most goals on the Owen Sound side of the floor.
Yeah, what a pickup he's been for the North Stars Junior B lacrosse team.
That he has been, and again, he's pretty evident when he touches the floor because he is 6'6", and he looks all of it there on the floor. Passed over now for Booth. Blake Booth, right into the middle. He misses its intended target, and it is retrieved by Gardner-Patak, who's going to go. As you informed me about 3 years ago, the track athlete of OSDSS rolls it forward.
That is exactly right, Spencer. Yeah, if you let Marcus get wheeling, there's very few that can catch him.
I always love to use that fact, too, that you were the one who told me that, as, of course, OSDSS teacher, as we illustrated earlier. Yeah. As Sundown now played over, trying to get through. Couples back over for Sundown, never caught it. That ball bounces around. Whistle's going to go, and I believe Sundown's the one getting called.
Yeah. Yeah, when those sticks get flying around, trying to get possession, an extra little slash there by Sundown.
As Keogh makes his way towards the net, off his offhand, so he has to rope around. Played across the top now. That shot deflected before it ever makes its way on target. It scoots out of play. That was Nathan Jones with the attempt. And again, I think Plater's only seen 3 or 4 shots here.
Yeah, but fresh shot clock here for Hamilton with that ball going out of bounds.
There's going to be a slash going against Hamilton off ball. And Taylor Bennett, who started off the season injured, and Nathan Jones got into it right after that ball went out of play. And then Jones, I believe, sent him. Another whistle's gone. And actually, pardon me, it looks like the one going will be double fours there.
Yeah, Bodie Gillies, yeah. Yeah, and Taylor Bennett will get under your skin. So, you know, as you said, he started the season injured, but he's back and healthy now. He had a week of field lacrosse, off of field lacrosse this week. He's had a bit of consistency now playing, so he'll be a factor.
Sundown fired from the top. That one does go wide. Ball stuck behind the net, and away will come the Bengals now.
2 minutes for high sticking.
And high sticking is the call against Gillies, who again did catch Bennett.
Bodie Gillies, high sticking.
That's again been a thing that's really plagued this North Star team is injuries.
Yeah.
Jordan Cochran still not in the lineup. Only played 2 games this year for the North Stars.
Yeah, and when they scan the bench, folks, you'll see Jordan Cochran, who's a key offensive weapon for this team. He's up there with a helmet on because he's still that Junior B age. But yeah, they've missed him this year for sure because goals are at a premium in any sport, and that's what he used to provide. So
he's also just a veteran presence.
yeah, big time. Yeah.
As Laycock played right around. Morrison, Couples, Laycock, Moran. Got Sundown beside him. Sundown right off the helmet of Bowden. Caught by Moran.
Yeah, what a catch by Moran. What a rebound.
Passed around again. Couples will fire that one wayward. Can Moran get there? The answer is no, and that gave a chance here to Hamilton. Awkward bounce. They get the rub. That shot, and the first real chance goes for the Hamilton Bengals.
That's Hamilton took advantage of that lacrosse ball bounce, the unpredictability of that second and third bounce. And Carter Moran seemed to be able to chase him down, or he seemed to be on his back, but number 24, Matt Pacina, just had enough of a step that he got that over the shoulder of Miles Plater.
I was deciding how I wanted to pronounce that one. I'm going to go with Pacina.
Okay, let's do it. Pacina. We'll make a decision. I like it. Pacina, good.
I'll
we're right by the crowd here, and we got a very great fan from Hamilton letting us know that Pacina is the correct pronunciation. If he's going to score, we better get his name right. So Matt Pacina brings them 1 goal closer.
And that is the first marker of the game, and it's a shorty to count because 35's left on the minor to Hamilton, and there won't be a call there against the Bengals as thrown to the ground was a North Star. Elliot Thompson wants the 5-on-3, and they'll get it.
Walker Zabransky.
Wes Grant got thrown down, lost the bucket to count it. So the evidence was scattered all over the floor there, Michael, so there was no real way of getting away with that one, as away now will go Walker Zabransky for 2 or less.
Yeah. So it is a short 5-on-3 here with 26 seconds left in the first penalty to Hamilton. So we'll see if Owen Sound, it's at and a 23-second shot clock. So let's see if they can take advantage in the first part of this double power play.
Well, they will go 4-on-3 with Bennett at the center line. Pass around for Sundown. Laycock trying to get it back there, and it's caught in the restricted area.
And that's why you'd have that player back, right, to in case they do pick one off and get sent away.
That ball fired the pull leg to the floor, and it goes to Pacina, who caught it, who was just kind of cherry picking there.
He's got a teammate coming they're not looking at.
And he missed the intended target, who was, as you mentioned, a Greg Love, who was wide open, but it rushed the other way. Moran, saved by Bowden.
Okay, I like the way this Bowden guy plays net for Hamilton. It does not look like many other lacrosse goaltenders. He's up and down. There's butterfly there. Doesn't matter how you make the save, just keep it out of the net, and he sure did there.
Very athletic.
Yep.
Is Mateo Bowden. And again, Steve and I have spoken about how sometimes the athleticism is hard to come by in netminders, and I think he's got it in spades. I want to see him with a regular stick. Oh, my goodness!
Yeah, what a
big hit there, and that was Greg Love, who got a hold of the North Star. He's not up yet.
No, he's not up yet, and I didn't see who it was.
And it looks to be Ethan Kerr, who's one tough customer, so for him to get up gingerly is a surprise.
Yeah.
And Moran wanted to whistle there for their downed compadre. They don't get it.
No, and Ethan made his way over to the bench, and I'm sure they'll just have a double check over there that he's okay. But as you said, Ethan's not going to stay down unless he really has to. He's a tough customer.
As Laycock going to get bodied there as that ball landed right in between him. And a Bengal there as the ball is now stuck deep in the Hamilton end. It's Laycock playing harasser.
Well, a miscue
and that
there.
Should be an 8. I'm still waiting for the whistle here. That's got to be an 8, and there it is.
In fact, it was a 13.
Hey, well, it's a 13. Regardless of that, you're counting by shot clock. They're counting by their arm. So I'm not sure who was right, but I know for a fact that the whistle went, and it'll be Owen Sound ball there deep in the Hamilton area. 44 seconds left in the man advantage for Owen Sound, who could really use a power play marker here after letting up the shorty.
Miscue there between the goaltender and his defenseman led to this.
Nice play from Moran, and Carter Moran quickly with the fresh shot clock makes it 3-1. That's a power play marker, and about halfway through this first frame, it's 3-1 Owen Sound.
And I'm going to give, well, you can see right here, Moran gives it up just to get it back to Sundown. It's going to work its way around. And when Moran gets it here, I think he knows right away. Look at that quick turn, and he sees that space over the right elbow of Beaudin. And a lot of credit goes to Nate Laycock. When that little miscue happened between the goaltender and the defender, and the ball was scrambling around, Nate Laycock got right on it and forced that 8-second clock violation. So, you know, those little things add up to make it 3-1 for the North Stars.
And you mentioned Sundown. I'm going to mention Sundown for the reason of a basketball reason. I'm going to call that a wedge screen because he came through and stopped the guy who was responsible for Carter Moran.
Yep.
So that's why he had the red carpet rolled out in front of him right at Matteo Beaudin. Because that ball got airmailed into the Hamilton bench. So fresh shot clock and a chance to go back on offense here for Hamilton, who have had some very rough offensive chances here to really use one on this chance. Has Boo trying to make his way towards the net. He'll fire it off. Trying to fire around there. It is played. That shot again, deflected wide, caught again, shot wide, and a reset. So it must have hit the goalie somewhere.
I didn't see that, but
no, they're going to call it. So the reset was accidental. So it will be a shot clock violation against Hamilton. That's what, their second or third already of the contest.
Those missed nets have plagued them, because then even if they get the rebound, doesn't reset the shot clock. And as you said, they've burned through a couple of 30-second clocks.
Moran over for Everett Sloan Wickens. Played now, wide open!
Yeah, crease violation.
Orison definitely stepped in, but if he hadn't, he would have had basically the whole net to shoot at because he got right in front of Matteo Beaudin's blue paint.
Yeah.
I guess technically that's purple for the West Grey Rampage.
Well, and it's good you mentioned the West Grey Rampage, a fairly young lacrosse association here based out of Durham.
Established 2018 from what the science is over there. Is that shot put over the net there? A good chance for the shooter there of the Bengals. That's going to be almost another shot clock violation against the Bengals as Christoph.
And there's Ethan Kerr back on the floor, no worse for wear. Took that big hit, but just needed to catch his breath. He's right back out there.
And I believe that was Adamek with the attempt. That went over the net, and Sundown's going to have the red carpet. Sundown scores! Make it 17 on the season for the big man, and I'm going to use a classic hockey reference. You can't do that when Sly Sundown's on the side.
No, and look at this. Like you talked about the red carpet earlier for Carter Moran. Look, they just kind of lose track. Look at two defenders going there, and Sundown's able to walk into that shooting spot kind of uncontested. And he's too good of a shooter to leave Beaudin, to leave wide open for Beaudin to handle there. And went 5-hole. So 4-1 Owen Sound. Good response after giving up that one goal to Hamilton.
I would say of all the shooters on Owen Sound, it goes Moran and then Sundown for the guys you don't want to be one-on-one with your netminder. And right there, Sundown was just about one-on-one with the netminder. As a chance here for Hamilton, that ball played over. Still looking to shoot there is Jones. Jones will, he fires. Good save there by
Plater,
Plater, as Bennett didn't wave at it, misses. So a fresh shot clock here for the Bengals.
So they are shot on net, and they get the rebound and get a new shot clock. So
fake the pass there does Nathan Jones. He looks to fire. Bennett's the one chasing him, and he's chasing him all over the floor. Played over, went right through the stick of Dawson Battersby. Into the boards it goes. I think it's technically 3-on-3 there. There's some off-ball stuff there, and they're going to call it as Riggs and Ethan Kerr got into it, and Riggs is going to go.
Was it Riggs that hit Kerr?
Oh, and they're going to send Kerr too.
Yeah, I thought I saw the ref point at both of them. I mean, this is just a Coolier Jets call here, I would say. And was it Riggs that hit Kerr earlier? I can't remember.
I'm not sure. I believe it was Greg Love, the one who nailed him against the boards. But again, I don't think Kerr ever saw the number. I think he just saw a black jersey and was like, I'm picking one of them.
Yeah, but I think there's from the referee. It's just, okay, 4-1 lead for Owen Sound. Let's just take them both and let them think about it. But you can see general manager there, Ethan Woods, wants a bit of an explanation.
And again, I think it's because he wanted poor Ethan Kerr was the one putting his hands up and trying to say no, no, no.
Yeah. And you know in these situations that they're probably not going to change the referee's mind. So the result is we've got coincidental minors, and we've got 4-on-4 here with Ethan Kerr and Quinn Riggs in the box.
We'll see who that favors here with more floor to chew as that ball played over. That play in front, again, misses the intended target there of Dawson Battersby. That's been a couple missing Battersby's stick. And they're going to call another one here against Owen Sound as the save was made.
I think it's right. No, it is 24, yep.
And that will be Noah Couples going for the minor.
Yeah, took the stick right out of the hands of Bodie Gillies, and the result, and kind of threw it away. And the result is now a power play 4-on-3 for the Hamilton Bengals.
Well, to mention that, Couples have been tangled up with Riggs for at least about 20 seconds, and finally they called it after Riggs' stick got thrown to the turf.
Yep.
As trying to get around there. Passed across, Battersby caught it, Battersby over.
Nice
good
save
there by Plater.
I love in this lacrosse that the goalies still use the woodies, and Miles Plater's used the full extent of his, covering up his 5-hole there. And a great save by Miles.
Pass in front, Laycock had the free run. He battles through two different, gets forced into the crease, and now the possession will go Owen Sound's way.
Did they get their stick up into his face? Maybe, but nicely done, Nate Laycock. The defenders are kind of looking for an explanation. Why did they get to give that to Owen Sound? But again, you're not going to change the referee's mind. So Laycock will try and burn 28 seconds here off the clock if he can.
And he's going to get forced into the boards there by Pacina.
Yep.
And I'm not sure how much Pacina's going to be able to do here because, again, Laycock's one big guy.
Yep. And you should see him on skates when he gets moving. You don't want to run into him.
And he's going through 1, 2, 3. He's still got possession. Finally loses it. And he's taking the beating for the trouble. That's only usually the problem with being the guy that holds it. You're the one taking the beating.
Yeah, you want to make sure you get your extra padding on, but of course they don't. But anyway, good job to burn that time off the clock, and now Hamilton back onto the power play.
That ball passed off the top. Hamilton trying to make a way in. Passed across. That shot right off the pad there. Ball's now stuck in some feet. Ball comes loose finally. That shot wayward, I thought. No, it was saved by Plater off the Adamek attempt.
Yeah, Marcus Patak with a nice check kind of coming from behind, a stick check there to cause that disruption.
Played over now again for Booth. Booth scores!
Just over the left elbow of Miles Plater there. That seems to be the spot, a couple goals with that goal on Miles and a couple down here in the other end on Beaudin. Just over that elbow, not able to get it elevated.
I think it also had some help from his friend, the post.
Yeah, certainly.
And that's the sound it made.
Yeah, pretty perfect shot by the captain Booth there. Who again, both teams understand the importance of this game, so you can see the physical play picking up. You can see that intensity picking up, and we know Hamilton's not going to go away. So they still have 20. Oh no, they should be even now. Yeah, it is. Sorry, looking at the clock and the floor at the same time, folks. Get my eyes going two different directions. We're back to 5-on-5.
I was actually going to mention that there, Michael, that the 4-on-4 had just expired, so that will mean that the 5-on-4 ends as Hamilton will pick up the possession there, and away they will come. As Cleland plays it off, now it gets to Dawson Battersby. He's had a couple just miss him wide open there in the slot area. Played over. Jones trying to fire. That one saved by the Woody.
Yep.
Immediately retrieved there by Owen Pryor, who will try to go. He'll get forced into the boards, but get away. Pryor will lose it, but catches it on the second bounce. He'll play it off for Sundown, and Sundown will make his way into the offensive zone. Bounce towards Laycock. For Tyson Morrison. 10 left here on the shot clock to go. Fired over for Sundown. Sundown back for Morrison. Morrison trying to find some space. He'll look to fire. I think looking for Laycock. He'll just have to fire here. And actually, that's Elliott, or that's Curtis Arnold, who ended up having to shoot it.
Oh, it's picked off by Sly Sundown.
And Sundown, the big body, caught it right over for Morrison off of the post.
Sundown used all 6'6" of his number 66 there to reach up and pick that pass off, and it turned into a great chance.
You almost have to ask him why he's not playing volleyball.
Yeah. Yeah, we could hook him up with our friends the Pickets.
We could. Make him a pretty good middle or outside hitter, maybe even the OCAA level.
Yeah.
As trying to make their way around there is Nathan Jones. Jones fended off. Down went Bennett, and there's going to be a possession change as Plater made the save.
But a good switch there by Taylor Bennett and Ryan Cranny on defense. They're kind of playing his own defense, but still then lots of switching off and, getting around picks and things like that. Owen Sound's doing a good job of communicating and making those defensive adjustments.
As Curtis Arnold now trying to fend his way through. He's getting harassed. Arnold will make his way to the net. Surprised they didn't whistle that as he made contact with Bowden, but again, I think the argument would be he was forced into Mateo Bowden, who then sets the screen for his defender as Cleland makes his way off the floor after he hands it off to Battersby.
Looked like the defender Cleland was going to try and do a shift on forward there, but then thought, I better give it to one of the attackers.
As now Gillies played over, looking to fire, they will. It's a save off the foot, ball rolls and not retrieved there as Kerr wasn't able to get away.
Yeah, it looked like Kerr was trying to slide that up to Jackson Ray maybe.
And then Cranny got dumped, so that will whistle it the other way in favor of Owen Sound. We'll also mention that J.C. Coots has been doing the PA here in Durham for the last couple of weeks, if not over a month.
Right.
And Fred Wallace was the voice I heard, so welcome back, Fred Wallace. As there's a minor going against Hamilton, that one did miss me. I'm not sure who's the one
So is that who took down Cranny there in the middle, I guess?
It must have been, as it looks like I think it's
47.
And it's Quinn Riggs going getting the minor, so another power play goes the way of Owen Sound. They've got one power play marker so far.
Well, and Riggs, you can tell early in this game, Riggs is a key member of this team. Like, he's involved in everything. So for Owen Sound, it's a good thing that he's in the penalty box.
That he is, as Sundown now picks it up. Thompson got dumped, and he's not happy about it. As Moran shoots right around him. Off the post, so no over and back as Sundown's going off. I'm not 100% sure why. I guess you wanted to make sure somebody got on the floor to play a little bit of defense because Plater was able to receive the ball as he'll now come back with Moran.
What a great sneaky play there by Carter Moran off the post as Elliot Thompson was taking up space down low.
Right for Sundown.
Good save
again by Bowden. But that player is stuck in no man's land, stuck between three orange jerseys, and Thompson takes it away with help by, I believe that's Couples and Sundown. Sundown now over for Laycock, back for Sundown. Sundown fires right over. That shot saved off the netminder and out of play. So only Owen Sound ball as Thompson was the shooter. Good save though by Bowden.
2 goals so far in the season for Thompson, 14 assists. He's more of a facilitator, but got himself a dangerous chance there.
Moran will fire over him again, and a good save again by Bowden.
So yeah, Carter Moran and Elliot Thompson have that little sneak play figured out. Elliot's a big, strong guy. Carter not as big, kind of hiding in behind him.
As Carter's just going to keep it, I think 3-on-4 in the defensive zone of Owen Sound. As now Booth's going to try to take on a couple different orange shirts, and he's going to get forced here. I think he's trying to get around Taylor Bennett. He does. Whistle's going to go here, and it's the... Not sure what the call is there, but it's called, I think, by the back official. So whatever it was, got some barking there from the crowd of Hamilton.
So Wes Grant brought it out of the defense. He did some good heavy work there on defense to force that turnover.
As Moran, Sundown, Laycock, Sundown, Moran gets forced back to Sundown. Pardon me, just couldn't catch that one. It's Hutchinson. Hutchinson got dropped, and the whistle gonna go.
And then Hutchinson kind of holding on to his stick there, just a bit of gamesmanship.
There's Alex Long, made sure he knew he got a rough ride for the trouble.
Yeah.
6 seconds left here on the power play for Owen Sound. They're not going to shoot just yet to make sure they don't get caught with a runner late, as Sundown will fire it right as he comes out. Caught by Bowden. Bowden looked for that long pass, but thought better of it as Moran was the one trailing Riggs. And that ball is fired down. Moran caught it. I'm not sure exactly what that was.
Well, we know at the Bay Shore, it's the clock that gets in the way. Here in Durham, it's just a lower ceiling than some of the big arenas.
And a timeout taken by Owen Sound here. 21 on the clock, 20 on the shot clock, so exactly 1 second differential between shot clock and game clock will basically give Owen Sound the last chance of the game. And I would have to take the assumption that Miles Plater is going to stay, and it'll be 6-on-5 for Owen Sound, but we'll have to see.
Well, and interestingly, the way that last play developed, it came, the goaltender threw it all the way down, but the offense didn't get off, right? So this is a really smart timeout. 1, you've got 1 possession left to set up a play, but 2, your offensive players didn't get a chance to go off for a rest, right? So, yeah, it serves those 2 purposes.
That it does.
So we'll see, and it was interesting, you saw head coach Travis Givens talking to Jordan Cochran on the bench about some things. So there's Travis. kneeling down there, and Ethan Woods, you can see Ellen, the general manager. And of course, Ethan Woods, very experienced, played National Lacrosse League as a goalie. Played with our senior teams here in Owen Sound all the way through Owen Sound, and you know, serving a great leadership role with all of Owen Sound Lacrosse. But Jordan Cochran would have some stuff to offer here too, right? As he's got some offensive knowledge, so may as well use every resource you've got. Shot clock was dropped a little bit, so now there's about 6 seconds between the two. That ball played over now. Morrison will fire. Not sure that one ever made on contact, and that will be a shot clock. Oh, wait. No, I think they're going to give them the last couple of seconds here, and now they're going to call it. So it'll be a 2-second differential here. But that's it. They don't get Miles Plater back on, so. And wait a second. Yeah, they've got to figure something out here. And you could hear they're yelling to get somebody to the bench to run Miles out, Miles Plater out, and now he's going to get to walk on. And you can see head coach Travis Gibbons isn't sure either. I think they're maybe resetting the clock. Yeah. So, I mean, the big thing is putting something on the game clock, because if you're not going to do that, then I don't see the point. And they're leaving defensive players on here for Owen Sound, so it will be Hamilton ball. I'm just not sure how much time they're going to give them, because there's still only 1.5 left on the clock here in the first frame. So it looks like it will just be an airmail situation by the Bengals, as they won't get a reset or a clock. That ball fired, it will go, I believe, wayward of Plater, and that will be the period. 4-2 after 20 between the North Stars and the Bengals here in Durham, and it's a big opening for Sundown. 2 goals, 3 points total in the period, as Owen Sound, as we talked about in the open, JC, need this one bad. Yeah, they do. And so Owen Sound came out right from the start and kind of carried that offensive play. Their defense has been good. I mentioned it. They're kind of playing a zone back in the house on defense, but they're also doing their switches really well and communicating. And unless you're talking to each other, you don't make those so quickly. So Owen Sound should be really happy with that first period. Now I'll say for Hamilton, they got down 2 and then they had an answer. You know, gave up a couple more quick ones, had another answer. So Hamilton's not going to go away. They're going to keep pushing as well. Beauden's playing well in their net, giving them a chance. That he is. Up next, you'll see Michael Harris get a chance to talk to Captain Blake Booth of the Hamilton Bengals. I didn't get here till about 20 minutes before game time, and I wasn't coming till about 3:30. So you got all the responsibilities. So stay tuned for the interview with Captain of the Hamilton Bengals, Blake Booth, with our great Michael Harris, as OLA Jr.B Lacrosse continues here on Rogers TV.
Hi, I'm David Shearman, host of Politically Speaking on Rogers TV. Join me this fall for more interviews with our local, provincial, and federal politicians. Politically Speaking on Rogers TV.
Sports is life. It's clear cut. Everything's out in the open. There's nowhere to hide. I had to prove myself more than anyone else.
You must be so proud of your son. He's gonna go pro. The sky's the limit.
There's always a winner and a loser.
You cannot reach the sky in broken cleats.
Of course, I always want to be the winner. And I did reach the sky.
Norman Kwok, the first Chinese-Canadian professional football player, still holds records to this day. He retired from the sport in 1960 and later became Lieutenant Governor of Alberta.
RTV Sports Wrap every Wednesday as myself, Spencer Byers, and our esteemed panel talk about everything you need to know going on in football, basketball, baseball, hockey, and soccer as we joust about what's going on in sports, keeping you up to date on Rogers TV.
Hello, Lacrosse fans. I'm joined here by number 21 for the Owen Sound Jr.B North Stars, Elliot Thompson. Elliot, thanks for joining us. An important game today. Maybe first of all, talk to us about the importance of this game against Hamilton.
We're chasing for a playoff spot, so everyone really counts tonight, and just play hard so I can get it done.
That's okay. And we're in here, and you're playing an offensive role here tonight. And maybe you can talk about that a bit, but also you're a veteran on the team now. No gray in the beard yet, I don't think, but talk to me about how your role has changed over the years on this Junior B team. You've been playing now for a couple of years.
Yeah, I started on defense and then slowly moved my way to forward to bang bodies and be a presence in the middle, so I'll do that and just crash the net.
I know you got a couple goals in the season, 14 assists, so you're setting up a lot of goals, and is that something you specifically kind of think about, or is it just kind of the way the play comes along?
That's a lot to do with the face-off, running down and like meeting with Carter or Cole Hutchinson and giving them the ball to get the job done.
And as you said, Elliot, just a couple final questions. You're chasing Hamilton for a playoff spot. A few games left here in the season. It really is a quick season, this Junior B season. What is your team going to have to do to kind of get a few wins as you close up the season and ensure yourself a spot in the playoffs?
Well, we're chasing every point. The D is going to have to be dogs on the back end, and offense put the ball in the net. So
it's that simple. Shut it down on D and put the balls in net. All right, Elliot, thank you very much for joining us. Good luck in the remainder of the game.
Awesome. Thank you.
Good. All right, thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Have fun. Okay. Once again, it's Michael Harris here at Intermission.
Hi, I'm Lynn from Third Eye View, and welcome to a brand new season that we're looking forward to. We have some return guests and some brand new guests. And in the meantime, enjoy the rest of your summer, stay safe.
Are you a passionate content creator ready to expand your audience reach? Do you have unique stories, captivating hobbies, or special interests that deserve a spotlight? Rogers TV is here to amplify your voice within the community. We offer you the platform to broadcast your content to a wider audience. And the best part, it's completely free. Don't miss this opportunity to share your vision and engage with viewers. Find out how Rogers TV can transform your content journey today.
It's closing time, and you stayed out longer than you planned. So now you can't drive, and the buses have stopped running. You could always call your girlfriend. Or maybe your roommate? What about your best friend? You could just dial 1-888-TAXI-GUY or use the Taxi Guy app. The call and the app are free, and they both connect you to a local cab company to bring you home safely. Visit arrivealive.org to find out more. Arrive Alive, drive sober.
Hi, I'm Ian Boddy, Mayor of the City of Owen Sound. Whether it's improving our parks, fixing roads, or planning our future for the city, it impacts all of us. Please tune in on Monday nights at 5:30 to Rogers TV or owensound.ca to become informed. Your support and your knowledge and your feedback is important to us, and having the knowledge of what's going on is really important in the first step.
Hi, I'm Carol Merton, host of HealthLink on Rogers TV. HealthLink connects home, community, and healthcare with interesting topics and speakers about your health and your community.
Welcome back here to the Durham Community Center. Spencer Byers, and alongside me, Michael Harris. And Michael, 4-2 after one in favor of the Owen Sound North Stars over the Hamilton Bengals. And I'd say other than the penalties, Hamilton's got not much defensively to complain about, but offensively, obviously, they've really struggled only getting 2 markers in that first frame.
Yeah, and I think for Hamilton, we saw it a couple times where they're just not accurate enough with their shots. They've missed the net, which has caused them, then even when they get the rebound, they've got to hurry with that next chance to try, they've got the 30-second shot clock that's not getting reset. So then their secondary chance isn't as good a quality as you would like, even though they're working hard to get the rebound. I understand Miles Plater's a really good goalie. They know that. He's big in the net. They're trying to beat him to the sides, but so far that's working in Owen Sound's favor, all those missed nets, and then again, they're not getting the quality secondary chances.
I think with that, though, Michael, you have to kind of admit that the Owen Sound defense has been very good getting their sticks in the lane and getting their bodies in the lane to either block it or alter it so it doesn't get on target, period.
Well, and as, again, we talked about right at the end of the period, Owen Sound is doing a really good job of switching off on their defensive responsibilities and communicating, especially across the top when Hamilton's trying to get set up, that umbrella across the top. Owen Sound's not letting them get comfortable. They're getting in the way. They're bumping them. They're getting their sticks in the way, as you mentioned. So, yeah, full marks to Owen Sound's defense in that first period.
And one thing Hamilton's got to keep their eye on, Carter Moran didn't register, I don't think registered a goal in that period. So that it will be a big factor of him getting going and him continuing how good he's been. And again, leading point getter for Owen Sound has been in the top 10 in league scoring repeatedly throughout this season in the OLA. But with that, Michael, we're right back with the second period as Jr.B Lacrosse continues here on Rogers TV.
Hi, I'm Carol Merton, host of We All Belong, Our Neighbors, Our Community, a new Rogers TV series promoting the diversity of our community in Grey County. Please join me on Rogers TV.
Hi there, my name is Tracy Hinchberger and I represent the Kincardine District Chamber of Commerce. I hope you will join us for our next segment of Chamber Chat on Rogers TV, a fascinating behind-the-scenes look at some of our member businesses. You'll learn more about local special events, restaurants and retail, not-for-profit organizations, and services in this community. Check out our schedule at www.rogerstv.com for more information. I can't wait to chamber chat with you soon.
As I looked upon the battlefield in front of me, a German star shell lit up the desolate landscape. I watched as a bullet smashed through the bridge of my nose and left me to the mercy of the darkness. I worried I would be dependent on others for the rest of my life. But Sir Arthur Pearson and the staff of St. Dunstan's had other plans. With their help, I knew I could be self-reliant, and I wanted to bring this idea home to Canada. I wanted Canadians to know that we could hold jobs, that we could contribute, that regardless of sight, all would read, that we, the blind, would shape our own lives, our own destiny.
Blinded by a sniper's bullet in 1915, Edwin A. Baker went on to co-found the Canadian National Institute for the Blind, shaping a path forward for the blind across Canada for generations to come.
Hi, I'm David Shearman, host of Politically Speaking on Rogers TV. Join me this fall for more interviews with our local, provincial, and federal politicians. Politically Speaking on Rogers TV.
Welcome back here to the Durham Community Center. Second period about to be underway between the Hamilton Bengals and Owen Sound North Stars. 4-2 through one stanza as the faceoff is tied up and eventually won there by Hamilton, and whistle goes against Thompson, so possession will stay with Hamilton.
Yeah, and you'll hear Elliot Thompson talk later on in the interview about the importance of the faceoffs, and he's taking all the key faceoffs here for Owen Sound. Now, Hamilton was able to win that one, so they've got their own faceoff specialist, as every team does.
Right in front and stepped in.
Yes.
Luth almost had a goal there to open the second period. Doesn't get the credit, though, and now it the other way. Couples good save. Moran off the post.
And you mentioned Moran in the break. He's going to factor into this game, and Couples had a great chance there, used him as a decoy, and then Moran almost put the rebound in, but a good save by Baudin. He's been tested early here.
I will mention, I did tell half a lie. Carter has one of the four markers in that first frame. I kind of remember that as I said it, but I tried to stick with my story.
Yeah, Laycock and Moran and Sly Sundown with the two. And there's Miles Plater, takes one off the chin.
And now Jackson Ray caught it right at the center floor, so Now the benches are flipped, so the long bench for both defenses here. That ball got stuck right in Sundown's feet, and he finally picked it up, but it went skyward. I'm not sure if it touched the roof, but they're not going to give him credit as away come Hamilton.
One thing you get here in Durham is right by the crowd, and some kid just walked by with a great-looking bowl of poutine, so maybe he'll share it with us. Or maybe just fries and gravy, but yeah, it looks pretty good here at the Durham Arena.
That it does. Their concession is open and does serve some pretty good grub for everyone I keep seeing going forward. As that ball was
good
blocked.
Save by Miles Plater, and then just a little turnover. Get your stick up in the air and disrupt something. Hamilton back on offense here. So they've hit the net a couple times and then get the reset of the shot clock. So that they weren't doing in the first period. So we'll see if their coaches talk to them about getting those shots on net and going from there.
And that one did touch Plater again.
Yep,
that
sure
ball
did.
does come loose. And again, it was Keogh there in front of the net to disrupt the Plater exit attempt.
So here's their third chance.
Whistle's now going to go, and it will go against Hamilton. So that will end that third chance you mentioned there, Michael. But again, it's been all black shirts really to begin this second period, except for that one rush chance between Couples and then Moran with the rebound. As now Sundown for Tyson Morrison. Morrison over for Carter Moran. Moran right across the top for Lone Wickens. Laycock caught it, tries to get around. Laycock battling, spins, fires that one wayward. It's going to be caught by him.
But he's only got 4 seconds.
Yeah, he'll just dump it to the corner.
Yeah. So Laycock again trying to use his strength there, but that defender, I didn't see who it was on him. I'll watch next time because that defender showed his own great strength there to hold Laycock outside, not give him up a good chance. So really good defending here by Hamilton.
That for sure is Riggs for Nathan Jones. Jones right over the top. Giving off there. As that ball was deflected before it ever got on Plater, he ended up just caught it there with the Woody, as you mentioned earlier, getting a chance to use the big Woody in all the summer leagues, including the MSL, who again have a game at 7 p.m. tonight down in Meaford against the Six Nations team. As Marcus Gardner-Patak right off the post. You mentioned it. Once it gets downhill, he's hard to catch.
And he stayed on there in that transition role from defense to offense and got a good chance for the North Stars.
That he did, as Moran. Over now for that looked to be Couples. Caught now for Curtis Arnold. Nice move by Arnold.
Tries to go 5-hole.
I think he stepped in, so it'll be a possession change now to Hamilton, who's got the ball. It actually goes the other way. It caught everybody looking at
I was confused here a little bit, Spencer.
Me too.
So this referee, I thought, blew his whistle because that goalie wanted a helmet check, and then the play kept going on, and then the play was still going, and Beaudin took his helmet off, yet they allowed the goal to stand. So I'm confused by this one. You can see it on your screen there, and I thought that referee blew his whistle. Maybe it was just a shoe squeaking on the floor or one of those possession whistles that keep going. But anyway, that one, like Beaudin already had his helmet off before the goal went in, so I actually kind of missed some of the goal. Anyway, sorry, folks. I know our camera people caught it.
Well, Luke Cleland got the marker. It's now 4-3 in favor of Owen Sound.
Yeah.
But as you mentioned, both you and I were watching the goalie because I thought he still had the ball. That's why I thought the referee was going towards him, because he still had possession of the ball. And you and I were, I'll say I was very mistaken, as that one ends up beating Plater the other way and brings Hamilton within one here in Durham.
Yeah.
Back to offense go Owen Sound.
Now let's see what answer the North Stars have here. Hamilton's come out ready to go in this second period and certainly carried the play.
As Couple got that one on target. And now another possession here is Morris right over the top. That one saved by Beaudin.
Yep.
That ball got popped right in front of one of his defenders, as away they will go.
Josiah Kindenberg, showed some speed there. So Hamilton right back to the attack here. They only had 4 players on the floor for a second, but now they're caught up to 5.
And that one stepped in front there was Blake Booth, stepped again in the restricted area, so Owen Sound will get back to possession. As Cleland again got the marker.
So does that energize Hamilton, or does that wake up Owen Sound here in the second period? Certainly, as I said, Hamilton's come out in the second period, and I would say controlled the play. More chances. Plater's been sharp, but they got one past him.
That save there by Beaudin, as there's a whistle going to go, and who's getting the minor? They're pointing at a Bengal, so another minor going against the away side.
I think Braden Mayer
really struggled with the penalty box here.
Yeah, number 12, Braden Mayer. Nope. Oh, number 43.
It'll be Zabransky
Walker
again,
Zabransky.
who's getting his second minor of the night.
Yeah.
But again, minors have really been a killer for the Bengals here tonight.
And you can see him there. We can see off to the right of the screen. You can't see it, but he's explaining to his coach, hey, I don't think I really deserved that. And regardless, you're not going to change the referee's mind. Owen Sound to the attack.
As Laycock puts that one wayward, caught by Moran. Got 15 left to work here. And another minor going against the Bengals off ball. That one caught by Moran. That shot saved. Whistle go? Yes, it did. So another minor going against the Bengals. This time it's double sevens and Owen Fez.
Yeah.
And Fez will go for slashing, and I think he caught one of the North Stars. I think it was Laycock up in the shoulder or an almost head area. I thought
yeah, got him
also.
up in the chin kind of thing.
That will make it 5-on-3 for a minute and 40 seconds here, as Bennett will start with it and he'll throw it down, so it'll be 4-on-3 with Bennett hanging out the halfway line.
Yeah, and you saw Elliot Thompson kind of run off there to put Taylor Bennett back as this safety valve.
And again, look at how big Sundown is right there on top of the net, and that went off the post by Sundown.
Yeah,
Moran goes to retrieve it, and he does. Moran now 3-on-2 that way. That shot couple
good save.
Back of the net it goes, and it's retrieved by Moran. Moran.
Great left shoulder save by Beaudin.
What a pass by Sundown there to Moran. That ball bounces. Couples can't get there. Can Bennett? Bennett can. So Bennett will now play it for Couples. Sundown. Moran. Moran will fire! Oh. And Carter Moran gets his second.
I was just going to comment how he had taken over Hamilton, missing the net with all his shots. But you got to be perfect against these good goaltenders. And Carter Moran found a spacer. Taylor Bennett, that release valve, gets it back into play, and then working around to the straw that stirs your drink, who's Carter Moran, and you know he's not going to miss the net again. Just by the left glove there of Beaudin. I thought it was 5-hole at full speed, but with that great replay by our Rogers crew, I think it went just by the left the left glove, the right post, and Owen Sound restores that 2-goal lead. Still a power play.
They're going to call a face-off violation against Hamilton, which will give Elliot Thompson the ball. As you mentioned, that was on the 5-on-3, so that makes it a power play still for the North Stars here to add another one. As Laycock, Moran, Laycock, Moran, back for Laycock. Laycock.
Oh, I thought he caught it.
I also thought he caught it, but it went right by him.
The way he twirled his stick there, I thought he had it in the middle. It would have been a miraculous catch.
Morrison tried to quick stick it there to Sundown, but Sundown just couldn't catch it. So now a chance here for the Bengals to chew up just about the rest of this power play.
Yeah, goal scorer Cleland there was just ragging it, and now he'll give it off to Quinn Riggs. And they'll use up this whole 30-second shot clock.
They got about 12 left on it here as Riggs will try to make his way towards the net. He'll get fended off there as he's staring down Klages. That shot is saved there by Plater.
Yeah, good rebound control there too by Miles, by Plater. Didn't get it to his defender. Noah Couples will bring it up.
And Couples, again, a guy who really likes to play on the power play. Couples for Laycock. Sundown. Got about 8 left here on the power play. So the power play will expire as this possession continues. Moran, Sundown, over for Couples. Couples right for Laycock. It misses. Moran does catch it. Moran goes right behind the net. Back for Laycock. Laycock's gonna have to put it on target. He does. No, he doesn't. He puts it wayward, and that one's gonna go all the way. And a chance here for Hamilton to go. They will get the possession as it goes right towards Plater. So it'll be forced into the corner. Maybe lucky there for Owen Sound, as I think that was Wes Grant who was dashing back after a black shirt.
But that looked like number 3, Aiden Wilson, I think it was, had some speed for Hamilton too. So that was good thing that ball kept rolling if you're an Owen Sound fan.
That shot saved there by Plater. That's hot off the boards. That's going to scoot all the way down.
Look.
I believe that was Schertzing with the attempt.
Yeah. And there's Taylor Bennett. I was saying I would like to see him get up to full speed too. And he did there, but couldn't get to the ball. Now he'll go full speed to get back to defense as Hamilton goes on the attack.
Now Booth caught that one right in stride from Cleland. Played right in front, but never caught it. That ball will scoot right through, and that will be a shot clock violation against Hamilton.
And now Bennett with it. So he can, I mean, these guys can play anywhere, but he, with his speed and his smarts, he can play that transition role as they get set up on offense.
Played up there for Lone Wickens. Over now for Laycock. Laycock trying to make his way through. Played, I thought, over, but it was caught, and away will go Hamilton. Kinnenberg will try to make his way towards the net. He'll get fended off there by Cranny, and he'll play it back. Aiden Wilson now, waiting for an option, and he gets it off to Adamek. Played over, just caught there. Back for Adamek. Got 8 left to shoot here. That one low, saved by Plater. Attempt by Riggs.
Yeah, Plater's doing a good job of keeping that 5-hole sealed right up. They seem to be picking on it almost. I don't know if that's a strategy they have from tape they have on Plater, or whether it's just, you know, a good safe spot to shoot, but he's done a really good job between his legs, not letting anything get through.
Has Morrison now with it. He'll go towards the net. He'll take a screen. He'll fire. That one wide. Caught by a black shirt, and they're trying to get away, and they will. But no transition chance there. As quickly off the bench again was West Grant.
It can look so deceiving when you're actually in the arena. It looks like it's going to be a 5-on-0, and then all of a sudden the defensive change happens at the bench, and they've got it all covered. It really is quite a transition of players, this sport.
Trying to make it towards the net. That shot, and Booth gets himself on the score sheet and brings it back within 1.
Booth was able to get the defender on his left arm, and as a right-handed shot, he could protect the ball up there. And even though the defender was right on his body, what you'll see here on the replay, Booth's going to get the ball and come across, and the defender there is on his left side but can't get across to disrupt that shot, as Booth is a right-handed shooter. So great shot by Booth. You can't let him run down the middle, in a sense, unchecked there. He's going to do exactly that. And it's 5-4 now. Hamilton inching closer again.
That's his second of the night for Blake Booth, who again you had a chance to speak to pre-game.
Hamilton Bengals goal, his second in the game.
Yeah, so, we'll have that coming up, I guess, in the second intermission. A really great interview. Nice young man, 2004, so, 21 years old this year in his last season of Jr.B. Lacrosse.
I think they wanted Thompson called on embellishment there as that ball played, misses. Adamek, the intended target. West Grant will stick check, and ball will finally come loose and pop up for Ryan Cranny, who was never able to really retrieve it. That ball's still on the ground, picked up by Adamek, who now loses it, or at least lost his footing, but kept the ball. And there's going to be a whistle, and it's going to be a tee going against Hamilton. Who got it?
So their head coach there, I don't know if he's actually, I don't know who I think it's the head coach.
Well, I'm not sure if it was a bench or a coach minor.
So interestingly, West Grant and Ryan Cranny were having a hard time getting a hold of that ball, and then Hamilton came up with it. They were doing all that dirty work to keep up with it. So it looks like
And the coach is the one getting hot about it. So again, it must have been a tee on the coach.
Yeah.
That's why the referee's not going over towards him.
So you can hear them yelling something like, "We had the ball." I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know what that means, but
I think it was because of the possession change going towards Owen Sound as Couples playing past the parsley with Morrison, as there's a parent also giving their 2 cents into the referees. That ball goes wayward, picked up by Sundown. Got 15 left to shoot here. Moran, Sundown, and Moran.
Good shot.
And wide open, Morrison off the couple shot. It popped right to him. No black shirt knew where it was, and Morrison pots it into what ended up being a yawning cage.
I don't know if in lacrosse they use the garbage goal, if they'd use that terminology, but that's what it is. But guess what? They all look the same on the score sheet and on the scoreboard. As you said, Couples with a shot. And look at Morrison. Right there, Johnny on the spot. And you can see Beaudin had no idea where that ball had bounced off of him. So that's going to infuriate the Hamilton coaches. We still don't really know what was said. We can't hear that. So Owen Sound, but hey, Owen Sound took advantage of it, and that's what you have to do. And there's Elliot Thompson with a face-off win.
Big one there for Owen Sound, but they got to keep possession here as Grant plays it over for Marcus Gardner-Patak, who will try to go. And mention that it was Tyson Morrison's first goal of the game. As quickly off the bench come those offensive guys again is Morrison. Played over now, wide open, and Moran just couldn't beat Beaudin there. I'm not sure that one ever made contact with the netminder, though, and now away will come Hamilton.
3-on-2, they've got numbers. 4-on-2 now.
That pass across.
What a
great
save
by Plater. That ball's going to get the restricted area, though, and go right back to the black shirts.
We've got Miles Plater's mom and one of his sets of grandparents right in front of us here in the crowd. They would have liked to see that save by him there, coming across the net, looking like an athlete himself. Great save. Great read by him to come across and take that away.
Keogh. Looking for an option here. Finally get their fifth guy out through the Bengals with about 8 left here to shoot. That shot by Booth, saved by Plater. Scoots into the corner, right back to Keogh against his numerical counterpart in Kerr. And Kerr is really battling there. Keogh fires it off there to Nathan Jones. Jones over there for Riggs. Riggs trying to get towards the net. He'll fire it back for Jones. Jones scores!
Oh, a little bit
right
of it.
Through the stick there of Plater will give Jones the marker and bring him back within one. So trading a 2 and 1 goal lead between Owen Sound and the Bengals here in the second frame.
I think you're going to see that this shot kind of surprises Miles Plater. Just kind of, well, it is a big-time underhand shot. No setup, just got it, took it in a quick, got the shot away quick as the goalkeeper's moving, right? And these goalkeepers take up a lot of space. So if you can get them moving, there's a little crack there. And was that number 9, Nathan Jones, you said, put that one in? So, yeah, good quick shot. It caught Platers on the move, and it just snuck in. So 6-5, yep, Hamilton not going away still.
One back to Ryan Cranny. Cranny fires it to a wide open Carter Moran. Moran will wait. He'll give it off, but right through Everslome Wickens, who can't retrieve it. That will bounce, I thought, right into a black stick, but no one can seemingly pick up that ball. Laycock ends up being the recipient. That should be a reset. Apparently, Hamilton never had possession, so it's 10 left here on the shot clock.
Yeah, I guess Hamilton never had complete possession of it.
Sundown will fire from a mile away. Saved there by Bowden, who will retrieve it.
Yeah, but he made Bowden work for that save. Both of Sly Sundown's goals have been from distance today, so he is dangerous from wherever he decides to shoot. But a good save by Mateo Bowden.
Trying to get around there are Hamilton. Adamek.
Good save.
That one got saved by Plater. It's going to scoot all the way down. There has been no reset yet. There will be the reset as Bowden will just sky it, and that one's going to sky by his offensive player that was caught off the carom by Riggs, who will settle into the offensive zone now.
It is fun to watch a lacrosse ball bounce, isn't it, Spencer? You just never know where it's going.
It's almost like a baseball on a really rough turf. You don't know if it's going to hop long, hop short, hop at all. And that one goes. We're all tied here at 6 as Keogh gets on the board.
Yeah, good shot. Just right, kind of maybe a foot off the floor. And I think Plater got a piece of it off the outside of his left pad. You can see it coming here. Just as it's developing, lots of movement by the Hamilton players, causing a distraction. You can see the play develop. Lots of people in the way. You know, I don't know if Plater saw the whole thing.
As again, a face-off here between Thompson and Zabransky, who have been the combatants here tonight. 6-all here in the second frame with about 6:40 left as Thompson trapped it. One back, but Bennett should be the first one there, and Bennett is the first one there.
So a good face-off win by Thompson with just under, half the game left. Every one of these possessions is going to count.
Well, that, and if we stay gridlocked, it'll be a third period for keeps, if you will. As Sundown over for Morrison. Morrison right over the top. He'll fire at Tyson Morrison. Makes it a pair, 7-6.
And you mentioned it, Tyson Morrison with his first goal of the game not that long ago. So maybe he's got the hot stick now. Another goal from out fairly high, but lots of, watch everybody running around in the face of the goaltender. Lots of movement. When you can change the angle of your shot and be moving as you shoot, that just creates a little bit of an opening in the goalie and sneak it in. So Morrison restores a 1-goal lead for Owen Sound.
Owen Sound Junior North Stars goal is second of the game and 17th of the season.
We'll mention that's Morrison 17th. He was tied with 15 for third on the team in goals with Sly Sundown. They both got 2, so now they're both tied with 17. Neither can seemingly beat the other on the goal scoring sheet.
Well, the big boys getting it done. Moran with each at Moran, Sundown.
Oh my! Oh, a couple! Gets himself finally on the score sheet. And that makes it 8-6, so we went from tied to quickly back to a 2-goal lead for the Orange Shirts.
Yeah, and I was just going to mention Sly, Sundown, Morrison, and Moran each with 2. Laycock with 1, and now Couples with 1. So the big boys are all getting it done here for Owen Sound. And another goal from far out, and a low shot, right? A low shot right up by the left foot of Bowden. And we'll see what Hamilton has for an answer, but it looks like, and Hamilton does win that face-off, so they got a chance to attack first. Yeah, they sure did.
They needed that offensive possession here. That's forthcoming. That ball fired right off the helmet of the intended target, you'd think, because that ball's going to bounce right to Miles Plater.
Well, and I think actually The passer might have been trying to go to Bodie Gillis, and then
nope, neither were looking for
Trent
it.
Schertzing ran right through, and neither one of them got it.
As Laycock now for Moran. For Laycock. Laycock looking to fire. That one got handcuffed and fired away. Laycock catches the carom, though. He's going to have to fire here with about 4 left. He'll never get the ball away as it will go into the corner and be a shot clock against Owen Sound.
Zabransky did a really good job there of bodying up Laycock and then not letting his arms get free. So when he went to shoot it, Zabransky was right there so that he could not finish his shot. And that's why that went wide. So they've really, Zabransky's figured out a way to really get in Laycock's way.
As Bennett got sent there, shot by Gilly, saved by Plater. Rebound caught by that looked like Adamek, as he'll never get away. That ball comes loose, and it will go towards the boards.
Taylor Bennett's got to be careful
gonna go.
here.
And Kerr's going to go. Got a chance to run. Kerr will finally get fended off there by Riggs, and he'll play it back as he got a couple extra whacks for the trouble there by Gillies.
Well, Taylor Bennett was lucky not to get a slashing penalty there because he didn't like getting knocked down. He went right back into the mess and took an extra shot and a slash, so he got away with it.
That ball skips right out of Couples' stick, and away will come the Bengals.
To Ethan Kerr, used to be a really great soccer player. Captain of his team, always Owen Sound Minor Soccer, rep soccer. Mark Perry would like that as a soccer guy. But then switched to lacrosse kind of later in life and certainly thrives now, number 2 for the North Stars.
Got an A on his shirt for a reason.
Yeah.
Was a captain, as you mentioned, in soccer.
Yeah.
The leadership's in his blood, you could say.
Absolutely.
As Couples picks it up after the check on the defender trying to get away.
So,
Couples.
Yeah.
Laycock. Got about 3.5 left here in the second frame. Laycock spinning. Laycock kind of shooting, but ended up stepping in before the shot never registered. So possession will go back to the Bengals here as it gets fired across the floor.
3.5 minutes left in this second period. It's been a good one. We're basically back right where we started with a 2-goal lead for Owen Sound, but it has been tied. So this game can go either way still.
4-4 the goals in this period between the two sides. Is passed back. Adamek never fired. He does now, and it's wayward as it looked to be Craney got in the way. As forced down is Kerr, and there will be a minor there as he got tied up with Schertzing.
Yeah.
Trent Schertzing really did throw down poor Ethan Kerr, who's had a beating tonight.
Yeah.
As he usually does. He's usually always in the fray.
Well, playing that low defender position, you are going to have a lot of battles. And like Schertzing, I mean, that's a penalty, but he kind of battled for that ball and he won. And
penalty number 11, Trent Schertzing. 2 minutes for
as now Couples will walk her in with the fresh power play. Again, quite a few here tonight for Owen Sound. I think they've got 2 power play markers so far as Couples puts that one wayward.
But he tried to go by that left foot again of Beaudin. So we'll see if that's something they keep trying or whether it just was a one. Was that? Well, let's see again.
And there it is. And Couples gets his second. So you mentioned pairs. Morrison's got a pair. Sundown's got a pair. Moran's got a pair, and now Noah Couples has a pair to make it 9-6. And they're 5th of the period.
Yeah, and watch where this one goes in. It's on that left foot again. So I wonder if they've picked up a little tendency of the goalkeeper. It may have gone 5-hole there, but it's still to that low left side of the net. And Couples has a second, looked very similar to his first one.
And to mention that, he kind of got, again, left at the top of the key there with a screen. It looked like Laycock, and he just kind of fired it from the top like he did the first shot there on that attempt as Thompson gets forced down there as possession will go that way.
Yep, counts as a one face-off there, right? Basically is what happens. And I'm got to say that's on the power play. And I'm not putting that goal on Beaudin, just you look for tendencies, right? And he's faced a lot of...
That one's going to go!
No way!
I believe Carter Moran got it, and he better be careful because he got shoved after the play there by Alex Long, and who converged? All orange shirts.
I thought it might have been Cole Hutchinson shot it, and then it went off the defender. We're going to have to see on the replay here. Our camera crew and Mark Perry, who's running everything back there, they're doing a great job with the replays. So it definitely bounced in off the defenders. Let's see here.
And it was Moran.
Oh, it was Moran, you're right.
It was a save by Beaudin, and it went off of him, and it just kept rolling into the net. So that's the 6th of the period for Owen Sound. 10-6 now in favor of the North Stars. And that's 4 straight here for the Orange Shirts as the face-off violation goes against the Hamilton Bengals and Greg Love.
And Ethan Thompson has started to dominate that faceoff circle. I want to say that's 4 in a row, at least, that he's won. Whether it be a violation or a straight win, Owen Sound gets the ball.
Sundown fires it. That one got blocked. It's right through the stick of Laycock. It might go the whole length. Will Plater come to play it? He will. He got it, and he just kind of forces it over for Bennett, who may just have to fire it. And Bennett will just fire it. And look at it go. And it will go bounce high, and it will stay, I hope, mid-floor as Clagus will catch it, and Clagus will fire it behind the net.
Logan Clagus, I'm going to get a shot here. Miles Plater is a hockey goalie as well, and good at coming out and playing the puck like that. He knows if you hesitate coming out to play a ball or a puck, you can really get caught. So a good play for him to judge that ball coming in on him.
Played in front, it misses Battersby. Picked back up though by Adamek. As down went Bennett again, that shot wayward. Caught off the boards, that one I think off the crossbar and caught by Clagus, who's gonna go. Clagus has got a runner in front of him, it's Bennett. He gets it to Bennett, who's gonna get hit as he goes. And he got met there as Clagus will go over him. And Clagus trying to play harasser there, he gets forced down. That was Hayden Cripps with the first hit and the second hit there.
If you're the defender there, you're licking your chops, hoping Taylor Bennett gets that ball because his head is backwards, and he didn't see that coming.
Saved there by Plater. Plater will fire it. It's caught by Gran. He's got a runner in front of him. It's Cranny. Gran will go over for Cranny. Gran will get forced down. Cranny will never fire. He somehow kept it and will bounce it there to Grant, who, again,
they're getting a penalty.
Hamilton's
getting a penalty.
That does make sense,
yep.
As Cranny's still down. Morrison tries to bend his way towards the net. Minute left here in this frame. About 10 left here on the shot clock, so they will just fire it. And Moran, I think, just telling him, hold it. And he'll now fire as that shot clock was about to expire. So now another power play for Owen Sound, which, again, has been probably the biggest issue on the black shirt side of the floor here, Michael, has been penalties.
It was interesting to see Cranny up on offense. He was an offensive player through midget lacrosse and has altered his game. But you're right, Owen Sound has taken advantage of these power plays. And you can see as Hamilton's tried to exert some physical will on this game, unfortunately for them, they've just crossed that line a few too many times. So when they come back out in the third period, they're going to have to figure out how to stay within the lines.
As Couples, again, saved that one by the left boot of Bowden. He got the Karim, though. Couples, so I thought fire again. He throws it for Sundown. Sundown finally got it. Moran. Over now for Couples. Couples again, this time off the post. But away will go the Bengals, and it'll be an easy break. Pacina in over the net. And it's going to bounce, and I think into the rafters, and the whistle will now go.
Pacino was away to the race to try to go over top of Plater, but just put it over the net. Good speed from Pacino there.
On my way to a wedding earlier today, I drove by the Subway Racing and said racing tonight. And I just saw Matt Pacino racing down the floor.
You sure did.
And Sundown now for Laycock. Got to shoot. Laycock in. Saved by Bowden as time expires. Great late chance there for Owen Sound, but a great period regardless. They came in they add to that lead. They're now up 10-6 through 40 minutes.
And really the difference has to be those power play goals, Spencer. Hamilton trying to take it to Owen Sound physically, but again, a few times just crossed that line, and it hurt them. Owen Sound with a few power play goals there, and that's the difference. So I'm sure that's the adjustment that the Hamilton coaches are going to talk to the team about here as they go in for the break in the intermission.
Now, they had 5 minors in that second period to Owen Sound's none.
Yeah.
And they had, from my count, 4 in the first, but they had the offsetter with Ethan Kerr and Quinn Riggs. And then after that, Noah Couples got another minor, which made it the 4-on-3 chance where they scored on the power play for themselves at Hamilton. So that is 9 minors to 2 in favor of Hamilton in the negative aspect of that. And you see here some talking here at the end of the period. And I'm not exactly sure what that is.
The coach is not letting things go. And so we know the coach is already, or somebody already got a bench minor. So this coach is not he's not letting it go away. And you can see there.
Not just that. It's also, it looks to be Zabransky there talking as Ethan Kerr was also there with the referee. So again, not exactly sure if that was just telling them both to settle down or what exactly that was.
Well, I kind of thought Zabransky stepped in there just to kind of be between his coach and the refs. Like not that coach was acting threatening. I'm not suggesting that, but just anyway. But that coach was not letting that go. And you said it. It's 9-2. No coach likes to see that discrepancy, whether it's deserved or not. You always think it isn't when you're on the losing side of that. So
it never seems fair, regardless of what side you're on, regardless of how many minors pointers are called against you or against the other side, you always see a couple extras that could have or maybe should have been called there, Michael. But with that, we'll hit the second intermission. Coming up out of the break, you should see an interview with Hamilton Bengals captain Blake Booth that you saw during the first intermission, the interview with Elliot Thompson. So stay tuned for that as Jr.B OLA Lacrosse continues here on Rogers TV.
RTV Sports Wrap every Wednesday as myself, Spencer Byers, and our esteemed panel talk about everything you need to know going on in football, basketball, baseball, hockey, and soccer as we joust about what's going on in sports, keeping you up to date on Rogers TV.
After a night out with your friends, there's always options for getting home safely. You could call your BFF, your mom or dad, whoever you can count on for a safe ride home. You could call your favorite cab company or 1-888 taxi guy. Or you could use the Arrive Alive smartphone app to help you choose your ride. Be it a friend, transit, or taxi, getting home safely is app easy. Now available for iOS and Android devices. Visit arrivealive.org to find out more. Arrive Alive, drive sober.
Are you a passionate content creator ready to expand your audience reach? Do you have unique stories, captivating hobbies, or special interests that deserve a spotlight? Rogers TV is here to amplify your voice within the community. We offer you the platform to broadcast your content to a wider audience. And the best part, it's completely free. Don't miss this opportunity to share your vision and engage with viewers. Find out how Rogers TV can transform your content journey today.
Hi, I'm Lynn from Third Eye View, and welcome to a brand new season that we're looking forward to. We have some return guests and some brand new guests. And in the meantime, enjoy the rest of your summer, stay safe.
Once again, it's Michael Harris here at the Intermission interview, and I'm joined by Blake Booth, number 17 of Hamilton, and the captain, as you can see on his left shoulder there. Blake, the big matchup here with Owen Sound today. They're sitting below you in the standings. You're right on the cusp of the playoffs there, in that final spot. What do you guys have to do in this game to ensure you get the 2 points and maybe solidify a playoff spot?
Yeah, two great teams tonight playing. It's just about the hustle plays, I think. That's what helps us win all the games we have won so far this year. Just picking up those loose balls and pressuring them hard. Don't let them clear the ball up too easy, and just do the fundamentals.
And as we said, playoffs aren't too far away. These Jr.B seasons go by really quickly. We were talking before, you're an 04, so you've been in this league a couple of years. What have you learned about that grind of a Jr.B season, how quickly it goes, and how you really have to come prepared every game?
I mean, yeah, you just said they go real quick. There's multiple games a week. You just gotta, every game is worth something. Every 2 points matters in this league. Every team can beat everybody, so every game is huge no matter who you're playing and when.
And so not that many games left. You said it again. What is Hamilton, what's your team going to have to do in your remaining games, your remainder of the game tonight, the remaining games, to ensure you get those key points and those victories so you can go into the playoffs and go on a bit of a run?
Yeah, I think it's do or die for both teams tonight, so it's going to be a lot of energy. Just like I said earlier, it's all the hustle plays and the little things that we have to do to win the game. So pick up the loose balls, check hard, and put it in the back of the net. That's all that matters.
Yeah, put it in the back of the net. And that's number 17, the captain, Blake Booth, for Hamilton. Okay, thank you, sir. Good luck.
Hi, I'm Carol Merton, host of HealthLink on Rogers TV. HealthLink connects home, community, and healthcare with interesting topics and speakers about your health and your community.
Hi, I'm Ian Boddy, Mayor of the City of Owen Sound. Whether it's improving our parks, fixing roads, or planning our future for the city, it impacts all of us. Please tune in on Monday nights at 5:30 to Rogers TV or owensound.ca to become informed. Your support and your knowledge and your feedback is important to us, and having the knowledge of what's going on is really important in the first step.
For me, the end was just the beginning. I felt I must come. If I did not come at once, it would be too late. And these places that are watered with the best blood of Canada might only be names and memories. I see it in the soldiers, the grief I know so intimately. And I will not abandon these men to it. The isolation wears on me. Slowly, the silence takes over, as if my heart has given out of air. I cannot talk. I can only paint.
For more than 2 years, Mary Ryder Hamilton painted the battlefields of the First World War, creating an unforgettable visual record of service and sacrifices at immense personal cost.
Hi, I'm Carol Merton, host of We All Belong, Our Neighbors, Our Community, a new Rogers TV series promoting the diversity of our community in Grey County. Please join me on Rogers TV.
Community Center, Spencer Byers, and alongside me, Michael Harris. And Michael, they came out of 1 up 4-2. They come at it 2 up 10-6. That's another two goals added to their lead now of 4, and they come back into the third, potentially final period, Michael, on the power play, so a chance to add a 5th one after scoring 4 to end the period.
Well, and it didn't look like it was going to be that way. Hamilton battled back and got it to tie it at 6-6. And then what happened? Owen Sound got a couple of power plays. And so that was the undoing late in that period of Hamilton, was getting penalties, a little too physical, crossing the line is what I said earlier. And then also couples started to pick on that left foot of Baudin in net. So we'll have to see. Even the best goalies have those spots that you target. He's made some good saves, but I seem to have found a spot there. So power play, see what Owen Sound can do coming out of the break.
Hamilton out early. They've been usually a team kind of holding us up here tonight in Durham. They come out a little early, so I'll try to get out a little early and give them a chance here. So we're right back with the third, potentially final period coming up next here on Rogers TV.
Hi, I'm David Shearman, host of Politically Speaking on Rogers TV. Join me this fall for more interviews with our local, provincial, and federal politicians. Politically Speaking on Rogers TV.
Hi there, my name is Tracy Hinchberger, and I represent the Kincardine District Chamber of Commerce. I hope you will join us for our next segment of Chamber Chat on Rogers TV, a fascinating behind-the-scenes look at some of our member businesses. You'll learn more about local special events, restaurants and retail, not-for-profit organizations, and services in this community. Check out our schedule at www.rogerstv.com for more information. I can't wait to Chamber Chat with you soon.
Are you a passionate content creator ready to expand your audience reach? Do you have unique stories, captivating hobbies, or special interests that deserve a spotlight? Rogers TV is here to amplify your voice within the community. We offer you the platform to broadcast your content to a wider audience. And the best part, it's completely free. Don't miss this opportunity to share your vision and engage with viewers. Find out how Rogers TV can transform your content journey today.
The regulars, the guys who keep this place in business. Last week, they had something to celebrate. Jason had just finished university. So they toasted his profs, his TAs, his old roommates. Well, they toasted just about everyone. But I worry about and take care of my guys. So even when I know they're not driving, sometimes that means bringing them a little surprise. And then they had a drink to me.
Brought to you by Smart Serve Ontario and Arrive Alive, Drive Sober.
Our TV Sports Wrap every Wednesday as myself, Spencer Byers, and our esteemed panel talk about everything you need to know going on in football, basketball, baseball, hockey, and soccer as we joust about what's going on in sports, keeping you up to date on Rogers TV.
And welcome back here to Durham. I knew they were going to start early when I saw Hamilton hit the floor. It's Grant score!
But we got you, our Rogers crew got you back here in time to show you Wes Grant going the length of the floor, and that time over the right foot of Wes Beaudin. So now it's a 5-goal lead for Owen Sound. Hey, all they missed was a couple up and down the floor. They got back here in time to see this goal.
Coast to coast, or as I prefer from the rap song, band for band or M for M. No one's going to get that reference, but I do not care. 11-6, 5 consecutive goals for Owen Sound after Hamilton ties it 6-6 in that second frame, and not even a minute into the third, Owen Sound continues to pack on the lead.
And I believe that was still a power play goal, wasn't it, Spencer?
Yes, it was.
So,
as Elliot Thompson quickly up the floor again, that ball caroms around, it's retrieved, as now a chance here for Hutchinson. Hutchinson taking a beating for his trouble. He's 5-on-1 as he'll rope his way around. Hutchinson now loses his footing, gets back up, still got possession. He plays it down now.
You saw Elliot Thompson trying to control that ball. That's his face-off stick. They're normally kind of just, in a sense, throwaway sticks because they don't want to break them. Because once he gets into play, he changes sticks. But anyway, Cole Hutchinson did a good job of keeping the ball there.
And forced down hard there was, I believe, Everett Sloan Wickens, and it was.
Oh,
Everett's
sorry, I
unhappy
thought
about
it was Nate.
I knew my body type it couldn't be Nate, but Everest got caught, and he's now got caught up there right in front of the net.
Well, this is Zabransky. So Zabransky's the one that was really pushing back on Nate Laycock and others earlier, but now he's got an easier matchup with Everest. I'm not suggesting he isn't tough, but he's not the body type of Nate Laycock. So I don't think Zabransky'd be doing this. He's going to get Nate Laycock next time and not going to be able to get away with that.
Sundown had the quick stick there, but it couldn't get enough wood on it as it was ended up being saved by Beaudin.
And sorry, I'm not to say Everest Loam Wickens can't look after himself, but every player has their attributes, Spencer.
And Nate Laycock is very tough to get around, and that one's going to be Plater.
It's in.
They finally squeaked through him as the bleeding stops at 5 consecutive, as Hamilton will now get their first of what feels like forever, as I think the shooter was Adamek. We'll get a chance to see it here.
Well, I think Plater just kind of lost balance and almost took the ball back in with him.
He did.
It was in front. As he kind of backed up, the ball just had the spin and followed him in.
I think he thought it was stuck in his shin guard there, in his pad, if you will, and it wasn't.
So here comes Hamilton. Lots of time left. They're just as desperate for a win as Owen Sound is. So let's see what answer they have.
As Thompson couldn't catch that one, he finally forces the ball around. Where is it? It's in, I think, Wes Grant's stick. It comes out now to Gardner Patak, and now given off there to Ethan Kerr.
Ethan Kerr, and I already mentioned a lot about him, but him and Cardinal Moran travel back and forth from St. Catharines from school to play Walkerton Hawks Jr.C. hockey in the winter. So lots of connections. Oh, look at
and Couples with the hat trick.
And he went right back to that left foot again. So he's found a spot. Obviously, Couples is comfortable getting his shot off to that area of the net. And Beaudin's got to know that's where it's coming from if he's shooting. Look at Couples. This time a little bit different. He cut in from the wing. Still a low shot to that left low of the net on Beaudin, and it beat him again. So now they restore that 5-goal lead.
Largest lead of the night is 5. Begun at beginning of this period. They re-established that 5-goal lead as that faceoff is won back.
Thompson is on fire with faceoffs right now.
He usually is. It's Calder Adams. I think that's the first time I said his name here tonight.
He's been in the middle of the bench until now. Maybe the 5-goal lead, they'll start. Calder's an experienced player. I think he's a 2004, maybe 2005 birth year, but
that shot saved there by Plater as it's caught by Kerr, and he'll go. And Kerr trying to get away, and he does. Kerr now going to run into quite a few black shirts, does lose it. Ball on the floor. Laycock there. I believe that's Curtis Arnold in the way there. He'll now try to fight through Keogh.
Good job, Curtis Arnold.
And now Arnold will go. Trying to get through Adamek. Arnold puts that one wayward, but it's going to bounce to Tyson Morrison, who lets it go. To Laycock, it falls. Laycock, nice move. He'll fire, and a good save there by Beaudin.
Beaudin needed that save because he has played really well all game, so that'll get him settled in the net, and a nice save by him.
But quickly the other way, never end up shooting on the wrong side, I believe. There for Fess, who will fess it off, and a chance here for the Bengals to go to work.
Plater used his angles perfectly there, and he saw that it was a left-handed shooter and was able to go toward that side of the net. And then Fess never got the shot off.
Got no time left for the shot clock as Clagus got dumped, and they'll get the possession back for the trouble.
Yep.
And Clagus is still off the floor as that ball got airmailed past Couples.
Yeah, we'll watch for Clagus there. He kind of got off the floor gingerly. Looked like maybe tweaked something, but hopefully he'll be okay. And that's when you get players like Calder Adams with lots of experience. Hasn't played a lot in this game, but he may factor in late, get some of those other guys a bit of rest. And
that shot saved by Plater goes right into Gardner Patak, who's not able to catch it off the first bounce. Does the second effort as Pryor will set the screen for him and passed over now to Jackson Ray. Grant will wait for some offensive players. He finds Cole Hutchinson. Hutchinson fired for Morrison.
Hutchinson along with Cranny and the backup goaltender Jacob Flooney, the 2008s, the first-year rookies on this team.
That shot saved there. I'm surprised it's not an in-and-out call,
yeah.
But they're going to give it to Bowden and the Hamilton Bengals.
And then Brock Malcolm and Zach Lemon as some other kind of AP players getting in the odd game here so lots of young options for the North Stars as well.
That there is. If that shot saved there by Plater, that one was attempted there by Nathan Jones, who's got one tonight. Had quite a few chances, has Nathan Jones. That ball is stuck in the corner. It will come right out in front as Bennett's going to go. I think Couples got caught up with a black shirt there. I'm not exactly sure, but as Bennett will fend his way off here and give it off to Elliot Thompson.
As I said, Elliot has a different stick right now because he didn't have to take the face off. So this is a shooter here.
Moran.
Sundown trying to create some space for him.
Moran never ended up getting that space from his numerical counterpart there. Is trying to get away was Arnold. Comes over for Laycock. Laycock's gonna have to fire it. He does, but bounces into the pavement, into the netting.
Yeah, I think that was, I didn't see who was defending Nate there. Oh, 77, I think. Owen Fess did a good job there of just disrupting Nate's stick enough, Laycock's stick enough, so he couldn't get a good, strong shot off.
Keogh puts it in the middle, misses.
Good defending by Hamilton late in the last couple of trips down the floor.
Definitely, and they needed to be as that ball is passed over now. Booth will look to fire. Booth trying to swim around, but he ran right back into Kerr. He'll fire it, gets blocked by his own player as Kerr gets forced into the boards there, and some jousting here between Pryor and Blake Booth.
And Pryor's going to get a penalty, I think. Or no. Well, it sure looked like it.
Yeah, it's going to be.
Yeah, it is. Yep, Owen Pryor.
For roughing.
Normally, and so great job there by the captain for Hamilton, Blake Booth. He got under the skin there, Pryor, and just stood there and let Pryor punch him in the face. And this, Owen Sound's got to be careful. They can't give Hamilton an opportunity to get back in this here, right? It's 5 goals right now. A quick goal in the power play. Hamilton's going to start feeling good about themselves and get right back in it. So Owen Sound's got to be careful.
Again, that's only their third minor of the night. Is that nice move there? And Jones will add to his tally. And that's a quick one on the power play, as you mentioned, Michael. They really needed one on this power play to give themselves a less steep, a little bit of a nicer hill to climb.
Yeah, so I'm sure that's the message that the Owen Sound coaching staff is going to be giving over there is let's stay out of the penalty box, make them earn every inch of the floor here. And Hamilton's message probably going to be, hey, try and get under their skin a bit. Power plays, how they got up, let's see if we can do that. So we'll just see how this progresses. And there's a face-off win for Hamilton. Zabransky won that face-off. We talked about how important face-offs were, and Elliot Thompson winning them all. So here goes Hamilton, folks.
It's a big reason why they went on that run to end the second period,
sure
Michael, because Thompson just can't get enough offensive possessions. Passed over, Battersby trying to get around. Battersby doesn't end up getting around. Pass to the top now. Adamek scores! Christophs Adamek gets, I believe, his second, and that will make it from a 5-goal lead down to a 3-goal lead as a water break between Bowden and Plater will go as definitely quickly becoming an Everest mountain to Maybe a blue mountain.
Maybe a blue mountain. But look at a power play, and then Zabransky wins the faceoff. That's how quickly things can turn here.
Two possessions, 2 goals.
2 possessions, 2 goals. And what a goal there for Hamilton to cut the lead to 3. They had battled all the way back to 6-6 in that second period. Now, still a 3-goal lead for Owen Sound. So maybe that little water break will give them enough time to regroup, and we'll see this faceoff, Zabransky against Thompson.
Christoph Adamiak, his second of the season from Quinn Graves and Dawson Battersby.
That ball won by Thompson. Needed that one, did Elliott. And again, he's been pretty good in the circle tonight, as you mentioned, and he's been pretty good in the circle just about every game that we've had a chance to broadcast here out of Durham or Meaford.
Well, Thompson's got his 14 assists this year, and he said they basically just come off one face-off, get the ball to Moran, and he goes and scores.
And what an attempt there by Sundown. It did go off Bowden. I'm not sure Sundown thought he touched him, but they'll get the credit as that ball goes out of play and will stay with Owen Sound as Couple scores! Number 4 for 24.
Louise. Where did he come from, folks? 4 goals here in this second half of the game, and another shot from far out. Now that one, I think if we watch the replay, you know what? He's scored his other 3 down low left side. This goes above the right elbow, I think. I don't know if we see that again or not, see where that went in exactly. It doesn't matter, it went in. So 4-goal lead, 13-9. Good answer by Couples.
Face-off one again by Thompson.
Scored by number 24, Noah Couples.
Couples had 12 goals coming in 8 games. He's got 4 more here tonight as that ball passed over. And Morrison gets saved there by Bowden. Quickly up the floor will come Hamilton the other way. Pryor, the only one out there. He will fend off the attacker. So it was technically a transition player. So no real chance you could say for Hamilton, who, again, did a great work to bring it within 3. We're quickly back again at arm's reach here down 4.
Yeah, with 12 minutes left, folks, there is still time. But, every possession that goes by favors the North Stars.
That it does, as Klagas does catch it. Klagas will get attacked a couple of times there. Klagas going to have to move it, you'd think. He finally does. No, he doesn't. Now he does to Moran. Morrison fakes it to Sundown. Now down for Laycock. Laycock gets the screen from Curtis Arnold. Fires it for Arnold, directed on target.
Good job by Baudin to be paying attention there, because that took a couple of weird bounces.
As Fess now up the floor, Adamek was the one running in. He'll fend off Fess as he'll fire it back for Schertzing. Schertzing now a chance here to go. He'll try to get around Battersby. That shot blocked by Couples. It'll bounce high as Jackson Ray has a chance to go, and Jackson Ray will go. Ray gonna get fended off. He'll lose his footing, and
he's gonna get the ball though.
It's gonna be get an extra slash for the trouble there on the floor by Schertzing.
But it's a penalty.
And it will be a penalty. He's grabbing right at his abdomen, and he's slugging off the floor here.
So I don't know if they got him for kind of tripping him from behind or whether it was the slashing, but definitely it was going to be Owen Sound ball because he was taking. Yeah, it's a cross check from behind. So he was actually being well defended, but. Schertzing came in from behind and got him when he was on the rush.
There was a convergence between 2 black shirts, and poor North Star was the sandwich in between, and just like the filling inside Norga, when you stomp on it, it got splattered all over the floor. And you see Baudin there in the corner, got a knee down for the downed opponent. That's now coming off the floor. Will go Jackson Ray. And again, he was holding his abdomen before he got the extra slash on the floor. And it is an illegal cross-check against Schertzing.
In the cross, we have to differentiate between legal cross-checking and illegal cross-checking. Oh, boy.
Moran.
I thought
that shot by Couples will go wide, and it will bounce all the way away. And they're going to say a touch, so a chance here for Moran to go back here with 15 left in the shot clock. And I will mention it was a double minor, but 2 different minors. You got the slash at the end. As that shot in, Couples with a 5th.
I don't know where, obviously Noah Couples, you said, had 12 goals coming into this game. But what a second half of this. Clip this and send it to NCAA recruiting scouts, whatever you got to do. Because Noah Couples is pinpoint shooting all of his goals from outside the arc, too.
Well, what's crazy, Michael, honestly, is he's a transition guy who plays a lot of defense. Yeah. He is not a main offensive option.
Right, you called his name on defense just 30 seconds ago.
Ball bounced around, won again by Thompson. And again, I will now kind of mention my inside deep by Ethan Woods. He and I spoke earlier this year, and he said, pointing at Couples when he was unavailable for a game, he may be our best player.
Well, certainly.
Laycock got handcuffed there by Sundown, wasn't looking. Ball is retrieved, though, by Everest Lone Wickens.
Yeah, that was good. Everest Lone Wickens there was paying attention. That was lucky for the North. Oh, and my.
Again, Sundown again trying to get to Couples as Everest got to go get it. He does. He'll fire it into the corner, and that will at least be a shot clock against Hamilton.
Yeah,
that ball's fired up the floor, goes right through the stick there, but is finally retrieved by Pesina.
That was a weird offensive possession there. 2 passes from Sundown that just weren't a part of anybody else's plans, apparently.
We'll mention, because that first goal came in the first half of the double minor of the illegal cross-check and slash, they still are on the man advantage of the North Stars, with a chance to add to their lead and make it the largest lead of the night at 6 here on this next possession, as that ball hits the netting and will go by way of the North Stars, as Pryor will cruise up the floor, look for Sundown, and he'll find Sundown, who will roll it this time to Everest Lone Wickens, who seemingly is the only guy watching Sundown. As Moran and Lone Wickens, that shot off the
right
there.
Elbow or the stick, one or the other. Yep, good save. Really good save by Beaudin.
As Lone Wickens played over now for Moran. That shot, save there.
Oh, nice play by Carter Moran.
Moran able to get his stick in the lane there. A chance here to go the other way. And Sundown now with possession.
Only 5 seconds here left in the power play.
And Couples off the post again.
So the power play is over here, despite what you see on your screen, folks.
Passed in front for Laycock. Another good save by Beaudin. That ball now finds its way out of the scrum and are picked back up here by Moran. And there's going to be a whistle, and it's going to be a high stick.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to Sundown.
Yeah. I thought maybe he got it up just in the chin area there of Zabransky. And hey, listen, Zabransky's been in the middle of a lot of things here.
But again, you kind of have to feel bad for poor Sly Sundown, Michael, because again, he's 6'6", so that stick is up around everybody's head area when he's just trying to keep it at waist height. So it is just more unlucky by poor Sly Sundown. It is intent, but it doesn't matter intent. It only matters what you did.
So we've got 14-9 here with 8 minutes left.
A power play, a chance to take another bite out of this lead and try to keep it that way. Battersby fired around. Jones right in front. KO scores.
Okay, I think Owen Sound has been smart to, for the most part, keep Hamilton off the power play because it's proven lethal. Two quick goals this period at the beginning of power plays for Hamilton. You can see here, just moving the ball around, fairly stationary to start. And then really the difference there was when number 2, Brendan Keogh, jumps through the middle and creates that movement. And a really nice power play goal. Really great movement by Hamilton Bengals there on that power play goal. Down 4, 8 minutes left, 7:50 left.
Scored by number 2, Brendan Keogh. Assisted by number 9, Nathan Jones.
And I will mention here, Michael, 14 is the second highest amount of goals Owens had scored this season in an 11-4 win against Wallaceburg. They had 19 against Welland, who has only won 1 game this year.
Right. So good offensive outburst. You can tell they've been working on their own power play accuracy.
Nice move. Adamek save there by Plater.
What
Plater
a save
needed to be
by
sharp
Plater.
there. As now away will come Owen Pryor. Pryor's got Grant beside him. It's a 2-on-2 that way. Pryor will pass it over now for Grant as Pryor got caught.
And they're getting a penalty.
Yeah, and that was pretty obvious as Grant just can't seemingly catch that loose ball. The whistle will now go as Schertzing will serve, I think, his 3rd minor of the game.
So they're going to call, is this a high stick here they're calling this?
I think so, as Pryor got caught. And actually, it's a high stick. And I see a 5. No, it is only a 2. No,
4.
wait.
5.
It is 5. I thought I saw 5 there, as poor Schertzing will now go for a full 5, and he's obviously not happy about it.
Now he had, to quote Don Cherry, he had Pryor in the trolley tracks there and just lost control of his stick as they came together. So.
And again, you can only score 2 goals on a 5-minute major here in Lacrosse, so Owen Sound can make their lead as many as 6 if they can capitalize on this 5-minute power play, as Moran saved there by Bowden.
Yeah, good save. Whoa.
Again, Mateo Bowden's let in 14, but I don't think you can say he's been bad tonight.
Not one bit.
All right, Sundown. Moran.
You know what? It's Noah Fletcher in net now. Did we miss a...
We must have.
Yeah, it's Noah Fletcher in net now, folks. Sorry. We missed a goalie change. That's our fault.
And I think that must have came after the last one by Couples.
Yep.
Because it definitely is most recent.
Yeah.
I will mention, though, 3-0 looks a lot like double O when you're when you're from the far end.
So Noah Fletcher in net now with a couple of good saves for Hamilton. But again, you cannot pin any of these goals on Baudin. He's played great tonight.
You did mention, though, that Couples and a couple other guys were kind of targeting that far side foot, shooting on, I'll say, the left side shooting right, as that ball was fired wayward and into the backstop there, if you will, as it'll be a shot clock violation against Hamilton, and Owen Sound will start with it here. As that 5-minute major, you can almost say most likely killed the Hamilton comeback attempt, but they have a shorty here tonight, so obviously nothing is out of the question.
Yeah, about a 2-minute difference 2 minutes left if this power play kind of runs its course.
Played over now for Moran. Moran gets the screen from Sundown, fired for Laycock, does miss him, caught by Couples. Couples with 10 left here to go, passed in front of for Laycock, great save by Fletcher, rebound, that one saved. That was Thompson, Sundown scores! Poor Noah Fletcher could never get set as Sundown gets his 3rd.
No, Noah Fletcher made 3 or 4 really good saves, but as you said, could never get set again for that last Sly Sundown shot. And a good shot by Sundown just to grab it and whip it to the net as fast as he could.
Contortionist there in Noah Fletcher trying to save that one off Sundown, but he's got to rock it when you're set, let alone when you're swimming.
Yep. And
a good marker there for Sundown, who again gets his 3rd. This is now the 2nd highest amount of goals scored by the North Stars this year. 19 is the benchmark against Welland, against the Raiders. But tonight with 15 against Hamilton is a mighty good total looks like a scores table confusion here as they get that settled.
Yeah, they got the iPad out there figuring things out. So Sly Sundown we heard from early in the game with a couple of goals, and then it's kind of been the couple show since then, and he thought, you should pay attention to me again, folks, and throws one into the net.
And again, Michael, he's hard to miss. He is easily the tallest North Star by probably, if you want to say 6 inches, by at least 4.
Well, and then again, I mentioned Brock McElmoy earlier, who easily stands 6'5". But when I saw them on the warm-up floor together, I was like, wait, Brock looks short.
Yeah, who is that bigger guy beside him?
Yeah.
And again, I've interviewed Sly earlier this year as he's got possession of it now, and he's 6'6" listed. I'm 5'4" by current measurements, so he's got a good foot on me.
It's like you interviewing David Bedkowski or something during the attack season.
Or Landon Hookie, who I did both, ironically. I did both.
Yeah. And anyway, we make it work, and there's a shot for
Need the milk crates as Moran fires that one right at Fletcher, who makes the save, and there's a conversion at the top of the purple paint. And look at Lone Wickens getting into it there. Look at Bory's big Sundown. As whistle went, so play's going to continue. Whistle will now go again. I'm not exactly sure what's going on here
now they're
in the Bengals end. Who's getting set? Well, is more the question.
I think Laycock's getting a penalty. Is this going to be both just to calm them down, or just Laycock here?
More to Lone Wickens. No, Lone Wickens will keep walking. So yeah Laycock's going to go. But I thought a rough.
And he did instigate that, I would say. He went in, he did the Bennett went right into the crease and stood there, and he was inviting that contact there. So that scrum, I would say, Nate Laycock knew was coming. He knew what he was doing.
I'm just surprised they didn't send a Bengal either, because they kept coming into it as well, in fairness. But that shot scores! Jones with a 3rd.
Yeah, he's been lethal tonight. There's a goal scorer for, and now that it's even on the floor, right? Hamilton's got to think in the next minute and 47 seconds is their time. So you look at Jones, just simple. Gets the ball, and he knows where he's going. He's going to shoot right away. But just shooting on the move, and then the goalie's not quite set. Great shot up over the right shoulder of Miles Plater.
You mentioned assist 4-on-4 is the best chance Hamilton may have in this latter stages of the third period.
Now Jacob Flooney's going in here.
And again, I'm somewhat surprised by the switch there of Plater here with about 4:30 left. So both teams now using their backup goalies here in the latter stages of the night's game.
I would wonder if it's just to get Jacob from some meaningful floor time here. But this game is not over. Now, I will tell you, we mentioned Ethan Woods, the general manager of this team. He's on the bench. He is a National Lacrosse League goaltender. If he knows how to handle goaltenders, Spencer. So,
And mine are going against Hamilton, so Flooney's going to come.
Right off the face-off, it's going to be a slashing penalty against Hamilton.
So now it'll be 4-on-3 when this ball is finally retrieved, as Everest Lowickens will make the run. 5-on-4 for the moment here, as Moreno just fired from a mile away, and that one saved by Fletcher. And I will mention that Flooney's going to go back in the net.
Yep.
So maybe just a quick breather for Jacob, or for
Plater.
Because we saw this earlier this year when they played Elora in that 7-5 game. He allowed 4 goals in the first period. The final minute, he sat on the bench for Jacob Flooney. He came back out for the second, and in the final 40 minutes, he allowed 3 more goals. So it worked out last time. They gave Plater the little break in the game as Sundown.
And they know, I mean, Plater is the guy, again, as good as Jacob Flooney is, he's a rookie Jr.B goaltender. They're going to hang their hat on Miles Plater here as they get down to crunch time.
4-on-3 as Moran let that one go right by him. Nice trap, though, but a chance to go, and it's Pacina. And Pacina going to go. He'll fire that one, saved again by Plater, who now Moran will go the other way, and Sundown's got lots of room to go. Down for Lowicken, Sundown, great save by Fletcher.
So Fletcher's come in here and he let that one in off about the 4th rebound, but he's been rock solid since coming in.
Couples fires that one, saved by Fletcher. And again, once the Owen Sound Laycock penalty expires, they'll have a 5-on-3 for about 40 to 45 seconds.
That's right.
Or pardon me, about 35 to 40 seconds. That's trying to get around there. Played up now. The Bengals looking for a fire. I think that's Jones again. Nathan Jones will fire off his offhand. That one saved. Saved by Plater off the rung. Handed shot by Jones. Now back to
a toe save and a beauty by Miles Plater. And Owen Sound back to the attack. And you're right, now they are 5-on-3.
As Sundown gets it rolled to him.
And Couples looks like he might play that role or he's going to stay high.
That he is.
Now he's shown he can score from just about anywhere. Oh,
what
pass! Passing.
And a great save by Fletcher.
Wow.
The net is off. The goalie's got to fix it here. That ball will come loose. Ball's still on the floor. Everest Lowickens will retrieve it. The 5-on-3 is about to expire. And there'll be 14 seconds left in the second minor. So 5-on-4 now for 10 more seconds. Sundown. Couples. Fire, score! Make it 6 for Noah Couples.
And I just punched Spencer in the shoulder. Sorry, Spencer, because I just can't believe it. This guy is having the offensive game of his life. And all of his shots from right at the top, like they're carbon copies of each other. Look at this. You just pass it over to Couples and say, we'll get out of your way. You just fire it. And it's that left, right by the left glove. So he loves that left post shot. And we're going to have to watch Couples as this season kind of winds up and see whether he becomes, if this is a one, I know he had scored 12 goals coming in. But how many is that today? 5?
6.
That's 6 today. 6.
And I will mention, you look at the score difference, 16-11. Without Couples playing tonight, they're down 11-10. So Couples' 6 goals have been needed here tonight for Owen Sound, even though they're up by 5.
So they pulled the goalie. They're going 6-on-5, Hamilton. But with a minute, 40 left or whatever it is, Owen Sound doesn't really have to worry.
Well, and they get a chance to add one more to the tally. And it may be a defender trying to make the long shot. Is that one saved by Plater on Adamek? As now a chance here. As far as the shot clock didn't get reset. Deflection, and they're going to say Hamilton ball, and it is for the first shot clock.
Yeah.
Still saying 6-on-5 here. But again, the first guy off here for the Blackshirts has got to get their goalie back out there. Quick stick save there by Plater. And they got to go. But can they retrieve it? They can. It's Keogh. As a minute 5 now left in this third and final period now, with the scoreline being the way it is. And wait.
Are we going to get a penalty here against Owen Sound?
And Bennett trying to get the ball back here. And wait a second, who's getting the minor? It's a cross check. I'm just not sure who he's pointing at.
It actually might be against Hamilton here. They had the ball.
They did. And that's why Bennett was trying to get a hold of the ball.
I think I know Taylor pretty well. I think he knew what was going on.
And they're going to give the bench minor, I think.
Yeah.
Jones, wait, who's going to go serve it?
Well, so is somebody getting a cross-checking penalty too here, or is it just change of possession?
Well, I think it's got to be a minor, because they wouldn't have blown it dead if it was just a possession change. That's why Taylor wanted the ball.
Trent Schertzing, and that's a fourth penalty. I was going to say fourth penalty of the game. Oh, they're kicking out number 9. Maybe just...
that was the 10-minute misconduct I saw.
Yeah.
As the way Jones will go.
And Nathan Jones has had a great game tonight. 3 goals. He's been in the mix with everything, but getting a little frustrated here at the end. These points are important for both teams.
Yeah, they are. Moran will fire that one off the post. It will go the length of the floor as Couples goes to retrieve it. Will it go out of play? It will. And it will stay Owen Sound ball. Couples will now retrieve it right around the center floor.
2 minutes for illegal cross-check.
And now...
Oh, they gave Jones... Yeah, they gave Jones illegal cross-checking and the 10 minutes.
And that's why Schertzing is in the box for him.
Yeah, so that was not Schertzing's penalty, folks. That's Jones.
So he only had 3.
Yeah.
Has now played over for Lone Wickens, who would love to get on the score sheet here tonight. That one over for Moran. Moran back for Lone Wickens. He'll fire that one, saved by Fletcher. And this should be the last possession of the game, as the Bengals have got to get it into the half of the floor, which they will, and I got to assume that will just about be the end of this one here tonight. Trying to get in there.
What a great effort by the North Stars, knowing they need every point that's on the table. They're not playing within their division, which Spencer pointed out really well as a murderer's row of teams.
That ball just fired down the length of the floor, and that'll end it. 16-11 is the final between the Owen Sound North Stars and the Hamilton Bengals.
Yeah, it makes this, Owen Sound's been on the other side of this, makes that drive back to Hamilton a little bit longer, doesn't it, Spencer?
That it does, right down, I have to assume 10, then shooting off past the QEW.
Yeah.
Back home, and again, the MSL team back in action right about now against the Six Nations Chiefs, and a big one for the 2-2 MSL North Stars, but with that, Jr.B season continues. A big win, as we've kind of mentioned. Now 7-9 on the year for the North Stars, while 8-10 are Hamilton. So still ahead of Owen Sound in the conference standings. But regardless of that, there, Michael, big points made up by Owen Sound here tonight.
Oh yeah, and that's what that was mission accomplished, right? You come in knowing you need the 2 points. You get it. I would say it became a comfortable win. They seemed in control, and you know what happens when you're the team chasing, which Hamilton was, you get penalties. You're trying to infuse your physical will on the game, you get penalties. And what did Owen Sound do? They made them pay for it with so many power play goals. And the big boys were getting it done, right? Carter Moran, Sly Sundown, Nate Laycock, and then all of a sudden just waiting for Couples to take over and say, all right, son, have yourself a game. And just start shooting with that pinpoint accuracy. You know, Miles Plater did what he had to do, made some good saves, and, you know, that's a team effort right there.
That it was. And again, Michael, with the big win, I have to mention it. My hair is slicked back for the first and hopefully only time on a game for Rogers TV, and I only mention it because when I went outside to grab my phone charger, the boys were outside getting the fresh air, and they decided to give me some stick for not having the hair up. But I told them they'll be back on the 14th, and we're back here in Durham for the final Jr.B game that will be hosted on Rogers TV that I know of. Playoffs withstanding, I have to assume. But the hair is only down because I went to a wedding, and I got to go to the reception the moment this ends. So that's why the hair is not up. It is not my status quo. It will not be. So you only get to see this.
So the Spencer buyers you know and love will be back.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what you call it. Mohawk. I've been called Spike by the great Martin Soder of Rogers TV. So it will be back on the 14th. Mark my words.
Right on. And it should be. Everybody has their signature. And I've been rocking the slick back lately, but I had the motorcycle helmet on, so I couldn't do that today. But yeah, again, great game today. You know, the Rogers crew, again, great replays. We got to see all that sort of stuff. But Owen Sound making Durham their home. We'll call them the Durham North Stars right now, celebrating the West Grey Rampage lacrosse system. That's, you know, we'll see some players from that organization joining this Jr.B team in no time, I'm sure, too.
That they will be. But with that, that'll be the end of OLA Jr.B lacrosse. Come on back to 14th of June, which will end our home schedule for the Jr.Bs here in Durham. But for Michael Harris, myself, Spencer Byers. They're great right behind the camera. We'll see you next weekend here on Rogers TV.
Due to the length of the preceding program, we now join the regularly scheduled program already in progress.
That I said, no, that's not enough.
Right.
No, every little bit is good, right?
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's and when I go back to the volunteering, the passion. When you volunteer, then you have relationships, or unfortunately, if it's due to health issues or whatever. So, how do you broach the subject of like you asked them, did they volunteer? Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you have to encourage, or do you encourage, or do you just try and go arounds about to get to where the idea then kind of sparks?
Right. So we do it in two ways. First, we always ask if someone has a will, which maybe you won't be surprised, but it's surprising still to this day how many people do not. So I would say 1 in 3, no matter on age, do not have. Do only have a will. The other 2 do not. So just talking about a will and how important it is to make sure that your wishes are in order. And then I always say you could always leave money to a charity as well, because otherwise no one's going to ask you when you're dead if you've really wanted to do that. It's not going to happen. And then I always give a little example. So, and Willard was the one that gave the sheet out to a bunch of us, which I find extremely handy. So a couple in their 70s, and usually the people in their 70s are the ones really starting to think about it, unless it's for tax purposes, which we talked about earlier. And if they had an estate of $500,000 and they have 4 children that they'd like to distribute that estate to upon their death, both of them being gone, and they have a $100,000 RIF portfolio in there. And RIF, registered funds, are 100% taxable, and half of that is being donated to CRA when you pass away. So if you did nothing and you let that estate be divided to your 4 children, they would each receive approximately $115,000, and about $40,000 would go to CRA and a few other little adjustments. I'm not an accountant; those are just some normal numbers. If you said in your will, you know what, I'd like to leave $50,000 to the charity of my choice, the math and the tax credits come down to the kids getting just over $108,000, the charity getting $50,000, and CRA getting a little bit less. So yes, the kids are now still getting less, but there is now a legacy being left.
Absolutely.
If you even said, I'd like to divide my estate evenly between the kids and the charity, so each ending with $100,000, each child would be left with $100,000. The foundation of choice would receive $100,000, and what a gift to give to children.
Huge.
And the government would get nothing in that specific case. So, and we don't want to have them get nothing ever, because again,
I think they've got a lot all the way through the years.
Helpful.
They've done well.
But what a wonderful, and the kids end up with essentially $15,000 each less.
Yeah.
But usually these are adult children that, wouldn't it be nice to be able to give that check as 4 children to that organization in honor of your parents?
Well, I would think that if it was my kids, I'm hoping they would say, "Man, way to go, Mom and Dad."
Yeah.
For thinking about that, thinking of the charity, and if it's the way it goes, they don't really need that kind of money.
Right, and parents are usually saying, I want to spend all my money. My kids have enough. I don't need to leave anything. And we will say, well, if you had to leave something, would you like to know about a way to leave them something and CRA potentially nothing, in a small little example? And if we can kind of show them that, then maybe they're open to the idea.
Yeah.
Before we take a break, Jennifer, what charities are you involved with? I know Kincardin's a very vibrant community, but I'm sure there are needs and places where there are organizations. Tell us about some of your charitable work and projects.
Right. So I sat on the Kincardine Community Hospital Foundation for quite some time. I stepped down to help with the Kincardine Reunion Committee. That took up a lot of my time. So and now I'm working my way back to the Hospital Foundation. We donate to many organizations throughout our town. Instead of advertising, we spend $0 on advertising. We will donate to, just recently we did even just festivals, nonprofits, Scottish Fest, Blues Fest, the backpack program in town, some local church organizations throughout town that we try to help sponsor and donate those monies to. And the community funds are also a great way to get your money into the community and then dispersed as needed.
Right.
This is Living Well, Giving Well on Rogers Television. Our guest today is Jennifer Cook. Jennifer is from Cooperators in Kincardine. Our sponsor today is Habitat for Humanity, and obviously over the course of time, over almost 40 years, they've put up almost 80 houses, and it's a great organization that you can volunteer with and donate to in various ways. You can check them out on their webpage. Just look for Habitat for Humanity, Grey Bruce, and you'll find all the information there. We're going to take a quick break. We have a spotlight video coming up that's going to feature Chapman House, Grey Bruce Hospice. Stay with us. This is Living Well, Giving Well on Rogers TV.
My name's Amy McConaughey, and I'm the Donor Relations Coordinator here at Grey Bruce Hospice, Chapman House. Our mission is to provide excellent palliative care accessible to our community and to help people living well with dying. Chapman House is a beacon of hope for our community. We support families and residents living well with dying. So if you are experiencing a life-limiting illness and at home sometimes their symptoms can become too much to manage, that's where hospice can step in and help out and take over that essential care, and family can go back to being family again. We pride ourselves with the absolute best staff here at Chapman House. They wear their hearts on their sleeves and they love what they do, and they come to work every day to make a difference in the lives of our residents. Chapman House goes above and beyond. We like to celebrate here. We enjoy making those last wishes come true. That might not be a big extravagant trip, but rather special dinners, celebrations of anniversaries or birthdays, and we pride ourselves in making those little magic moments happen here at Chapman House. There's nothing that we don't try to do to accommodate a loved one's last wishes. When your loved one passes away at Chapman House, the care doesn't end there. We welcome the family members back for memorial services and bereavement care and follow-up. We are less than 50% funded by the government, so the shortfall each year is $1.4 million. So we have to fundraise the rest. We live in a very generous community, and we are able to keep the lights on and the doors open because of our community's support. I urge you, the community, to join me in making a difference. Your donation, no matter how small, will continue to keep Chapman House a beacon of hope for those in our community.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Living Well, Giving Well on Rogers Television, Grey County. I'm Fred Wallace, along with Denise Freed, and our guest today from the Cooperators in Kincardine is Jennifer Cook. Jennifer is with us today, and we're talking about leaving legacy gifts as part of our program on Living Well, Giving Well. Before we get back to Jennifer, I just want to mention off the back of the video for the Grey Bruce Hospice and Chapman House that they have a number of events coming up. A big fishing event in the area is the Sound Shootout. That comes up in August, and also they have the Road Relics Raffle, which is coming up in August as well. Great fundraisers for the hospice, and also for Chapman House. A very popular event every year is the September Rib Fest in Owen Sound, and that too is a great fundraiser for hospice. So again, you can check out all their information at greybrucehospice.com. Jennifer, before we left, I kind of fired a fastball at you and asked about the charities, and I might have neglected to ask about a couple that you were involved with from a corporate and personal standpoint.
Yeah, it's funny because you put on the spot and then you try to think of what you've done so recently, but it's also really important, especially just you mentioning hospice. So hospice in our town is an organization that we definitely want to make sure that we're helping and supporting, as well as our hospital. Large campaign going on in Kincardine right now, so it's something that you want to make sure people are involved in.
Were you involved in handbags for hospice?
Absolutely.
Tell us about that event, because it looked like a terrific event. Obviously, I'm not centered in Kincardine, but I went, what a marvelous idea. Tell us about handbags for hospice.
I know it's a real hardship to have to go to a sponsorship event where you have to walk away with a bag to make sure that you've done something to support the group. It is an event where people collect, the majority are females, but not all, to hear about hospice and their initiatives, to vote and bid on different bags. So try to outbid your peers and your friends and walk away with what you think is the best bag. They usually always have wonderful entertainment and lovely snacks, which is fun.
And what did you get for a bag?
Well, I have a couple.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was a good shopping day.
It was, yes.
Well, you know, it's interesting when I hear you talk, you know, there's the passion. I can feel that passion with you, the idea of volunteering and wanting to help your community. And I think that would probably go to your clients, you know, pass that on to them and your suggestions and getting them to even think about the possibilities of giving. Is it different giving when they're still living as compared to giving when they've passed away in their will? I mean, I think that's a big question, I think. But, I mean, would it be a suggestion, well, let's do it right now while you're living. You can see this, and then maybe a legacy gift when they've passed away.
Yeah, that's a tough dilemma, right? I mean, I would say who wouldn't want to do it while they were living, so you could see the impact directly that you've made on that organization. But there's always that little voice in the back of your head wondering if you'll need that money, and what if you need it down the road? And it's maybe not always the clients saying those things, it's maybe their kids as well, wanting to make sure that they're looked after and that they're not doing something without thinking it all the way through. So why not do it in little bits and then have it as a final estate wish as well?
Again, I wonder if it's a demographic thing. Our parents, or my parents certainly, were Depression children, and so they held on very, very tightly. Do you see that change in your experience?
No.
Okay.
No.
Isn't it
no.
interesting?
And I'd
Yeah.
say as well, while people might have maybe not holding on to their money as tightly, we're living longer, right? 7% increase in centenarians over the next 5 years is people living past 100, wondering will they outlive their money?
Which
and
would
what
be the
about
worst thing ever, right?
Right? Yeah. I mean, the perfect day to die is the day after you spent your last dollar.
Yeah, okay.
But I don't know. And on December 31st, so it's the end of that tax year. But
Right.
I mean, the stars have to really align for that tax year.
Yeah, I think, I mean, yeah, when you're saying we're living longer, I mean, 65 used to be the retirement age, and you would think, okay, fine, I've got maybe 10, 20 years. Well, now, if you retire at 65, you've still got maybe 30 years. And I mean, that's probably maybe the amount you've worked. Like, I mean, depending.
Yeah.
I mean, depending on everybody's situations. And I think we've learned as we've gone on the show here that people want to look after their family. I mean, we've talked to the lawyers and they want to look after their family, but there's still so much in a smaller portion that could be given to a charity.